It's clear tonight with a low of -3. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of 13. Friday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 14. Saturday, game day for the Riders and Lions, sunny and a high of 19. For Sunday, cloudy and 16. And for Monday, cloudy, showers and a high of 9. Right now, sunny and 12 degrees in Regina.
B&A Petroleum is a Southern Saskatchewan family-owned business that's there for you. They've been supporting their clients for over 30 years with locations in several communities throughout the southern part of the province. B&A Petroleum is available for all your bulk fuel and lubricant needs with propane at selected locations Monday to Friday. And don't forget, their Cardlock location is accessible 24 hours for your convenience. B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It's kind of like having a hangover in a good way. It's been a couple days since the Jays punched their ticket to the World Series. Everybody's still flying high. That George Springer home run, it's taken over my algorithm. It's probably taken over yours as well. I see some sort of version or angle of that, what has already become one of the most important home runs in Blue Jays history, about every third post still on social media. So you know how many people are still consuming that. And I'm not tired of it, and I don't know that I ever will. The reaction videos that are coming out now of Jays fans watching the home run get hit have been awesome. Everything from people in their living rooms, people sitting on decks, people in cars. It's great. I think we kind of forget just what this team means to this country, especially when things are going well. By the way, I don't think anybody has commented on the Jays front office or any of the moves they've made in a long, long, long time. Remember? It's all that was past couple years. The Jays front office. Jays front office. Bandwagon's fuller than ever. But that's okay. But now that a couple of days are gone by, there's a change in sentiment, a change in tone, a change in attitude. People saying, bring on the Dodgers. We want that smoke. And I get it, Jays fans. We feel good. We're invincible right now. The LA Dodgers, though, are a different animal than the New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners. Besides being, in top 3 in payroll, they have the best player in baseball, who we saw last week have the most incredible game I think any of us have ever seen, Shohei Ohtani. 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Wow. Jays fans, could you imagine? What if that's us? Are you... All right, I get it. We're all bravado right now, but you got Shohei. You've got former Jay Teoscar Hernandez, who always seems to hit timely home runs. Mookie Betts, not great stat-wise, but it's still Mookie Betts. And they have really good starting pitching. Now let's jump into our time machine here, okay? Let's go back in our Toronto Blue Jays time machine to August. The Jays were in LA to take on the Dodgers. Friday, August 8th. Starting pitcher, Max Scherzer up against Clayton Kershaw. Final score was Dodgers 5, Blue Jays 1. Luckily, Kershaw isn't on the postseason roster. That's how deep they are when you don't even have to have Clayton Kershaw on your roster. Saturday, August 9th. Starting pitcher, Blake Snell, Chris Bassett. Final score, Dodgers 9, Blue Jays 1. That was not a good game. Sunday, August 10th, starting pitchers Tyler Glasnow and Eric Lauer. Final score was Jays 5, Dodgers 4 in that crazy comeback. And that was the scrappy Jays that we saw. But those first 2 games, the Dodgers dominated. So Dodgers manager Dave Roberts has come out and said Blake Snell's going to start game 1. Yoshinobu Yakamoto's going to pitch game 2. That's the pitching order he used against Milwaukee. That was the secret formula. They swept them. Snell was awesome. I get it. We want the smoke. And we're going to get the smoke starting Friday, but just be prepared for the smoke, all right? And we got to find out, is there one more chapter to write in this crazy Blue Jay book for 2025? We're going to find out. It's only like 48 hours and change away from first pitch. It's the Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk sports. Maz McFly here, along with one of the double C's, Colton Schultz. Not only are we on 620 CKRM, but we're also on the CKRM app. Make sure you download that, your mobile device, Apple and Android. Sports Cage video stream is up and running right now on X and on YouTube. And you can always catch the podcast wherever you get your favorite podcasts, like Apple, Spotify, and Amazon. Phone lines are open. Calls are always welcome. 866-767-0620. Prairie Land Rentals text line is 306-936-6262. Sports Cage on a Wednesdays for Regina Motor Products. The RMP early tire swap offer is on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim tire change and $20 on an off-rim tire change. You can visit RMP today. Busy show. CFL legend. If they're announcing the MOP candidates today in the CFL, he's our MOG, our most outstanding guest. Charleston Hughes coming up in about 20 minutes' time. NHL insider Eric Francis will join us in hour number 2. And then Ken King in hour number 3. First-time guest on the Sports Cage. Excited to chat with Ken. He's a writer, a contributor for Jay's Journal. We're going to talk Jays and this World Series. And did you see Michael Bublé and how conflicted he is? We'll get to that later in the show. The Dodgers have some CanCon, some Canadian content in Michael Bublé, but we don't know. Is he going to be okay with it? Busy day. Lots going on. We're heading into the final week of the CFL season, and the games mean a lot, which is great. Nothing worse than week 21 in the CFL if everything was like a done and everything was a foregone conclusion. No one would be watching. Everybody else would find something else to do. Those games on Friday night, that's going to be a tough sell when the Jays are taking on the Dodgers. That CFL doubleheader. Elk Stamps in the nightcap. Oof, that one could be tough. But playoff seeding, from the sounds of what's coming out of Rider practice and the players and stuff, standing on the sidelines and laying down for the BC Lions on Saturday may not be an option. And as a fan, I like that. I know on Monday's show we talked about rest versus rust. As a proud Rider fan this year with a really good football team, I wanted us to play best on best. I felt cheated when we played Montreal, when Davis Alexander didn't play. I've wanted to see us against the best competition to find out really who we are. And Saturday, it looks like it's going to be Nathan Rourke and the whole crew, and potentially against the Riders' full squad as well. You can't go into the playoffs on a 2-game losing streak. That's just me. I don't think you ever want to go into the playoffs on a losing streak. Yes, you'd have the bye Western Final, but it's the rust, and these other teams that are surging that are going to have to win their way in. Best on Saturday night, I'm okay with that, so strap it up. The 2025 nominees for the CFL Player Awards are out. This is not a surprise. Trevor Harris for MOP. You can't, it was unanimous. You can't dispute it. These are picked by the Football Writers of Canada, who at times, like proclaiming Trey Ford, the starting quarterback of the Edmonton Elks, one of the best ideas and concepts the CFL has ever seen. So those are those same people. So let's just say that they do have a margin for error. On this one, they got it right. Jameer Thurman, most outstanding defensive player. Yes, but ... no respect to Jameer Thurman, but what A.J. Allen, the most outstanding Canadian, has done this year, I'd say you could probably put those neck and neck. Now, I get it, Jameer Thurman, because of name and just everything he quietly provides. Why wouldn't you? But A.J. Allen, since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, he's always been a demon on the teams, has, to me, been one of the Riders' best players. Jermarcus Hardrick, most outstanding lineman. Yeah, I think I no complaints there. Peyton Collins, most outstanding rookie. I was checking him like he's done. No, Dante Myers played too many games last year to be a rookie. So did Antoine Brooks. They've had some good years. Nick Weeb, most outstanding special teams player. Yep. Just solid. Maybe you don't always notice him, but he's there doing his thing. Always in the right spot at the right time. And as he earns his chops on teams, imagine when he gets into the starting lineup, just like AJ Allen, like how dangerous he's going to be. This is another J.O. depth situation that can you project out 2 and 3 years if they stay healthy? How good this defense is going to be? What else is going on today? The comedy situation that is the Miami Dolphins keeps providing fresh content. Later on in the show, we'll let you hear from head coach Mike McDaniel and his new strategy for this week with Tua Tagovailoa. And then we're also going to hear from former NFLer Teddy Bruschi and his thoughts on how dysfunctional the team is and how hard it would be to be in that locker room. Now, Bruschi would know. He's got a pedigree. You can't imagine. McDaniel still looks worried, but he's not the biggest problem in Miami. It's Tua. It's Tua. But what do? He's got a $50 million contract. I would say Quinn Ewers. Is he a 4th or 5th round pick? Played for the University of Texas. Played a little bit last week. I don't know. Hey, Oiler fans. Should you be worried that Connor McDavid hasn't scored a goal yet? They've played 7 games. Not a gimme, not a tap-in, not an empty net. And they don't score a lot 5-on-5. But he hasn't even scored on the power play. Was it a couple games ago he dishing off to Troy Stetcher? Nothing against the Stetch dog, but Connor McDavid, shoot the puck. Oilers fans are clinging to the excuse that, we're a slow starting team, et cetera, et cetera. But we've made it to the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. I get it. But I don't know if that's a formula that you can live on, right? Last night they beat Ottawa in overtime. Tonight, Montreal is in Calgary. And then tomorrow night, the Oilers will take on the Habs at Rogers Arena. Speaking of the Flames, yikes. Oiler problems sure are different than Flames problems. The Oilers can't score 5-on-5. McDavid doesn't have a goal. That will all eventually work itself out. The Flames may never score another goal. They may never win another game. I can't remember. And if you're a long-suffering Flames fan, and Eric Francis, who will be on next hour, has been covering the team, I think he said 31 years. It's early October, and all the Flames talk is the tanking for Gavin McKenna sweepstakes. There's been some bad Flames teams in the past 31 years, but I don't know if we've ever been third week October already writing off just how bad they are. Now, someone in my circle I run with, like, I'm like, I don't know that they're throwing or tanking. I think that they're just not good enough and they're getting beat. Like, there's just not enough. So if you're Nazem Kadri, has your agent talked to Craig Conroy to be like, hey, you know what? Let's just say if someone were to inquire, no trade. Let's talk. Let's chat. Same thing, Blake Coleman. Jonathan Huberdeau. Wow. Bill Zito, proving once again, every game and every day that goes by, man, did he make the right choice getting rid of that guy. And the Flames are saddled with this contract. And then they extended head coach Ryan Huska 2 years, and there was no need to. I don't think there was any immediacy because look at how all this is playing out. And poor Dustin Wolf. So Flames, Habs tonight. The Habs are good. We're not anointing them yet. If you're a Habs fan, you anoint them every year before the preseason even starts. They're playing some good hockey. They have got a great stock of young and up-and-comers, and it's only getting better, and that'll be on display tonight. And as always, you know this, Habs fans travel well, so you've got to expect tonight in Calgary, and then tomorrow night in Edmonton. You're going to see hockey rinks probably 2/5 to a half full of the other team's jerseys. And then, Flames fans, and I know this is your home turf, if you don't want ole, 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 ole being sung in the third period, do something about it. Or there's going to be a bunch of drunk guys. I think they installed Molson again as their draft partner. Drunk on Molson, singing ole, ole, ole in the third period as the Habs are, winding down the game, and they're going to pick up a win. Are you okay with that? I don't know. Hey, we're going to take our first break on the show. Lots to come, including the Junior Football Report. We're going to hear from A.J. Allen, nominee as Most Outstanding Canadian. Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him after practice. And yeah, don't forget, if you want to be part of the show, the Prairieland Rentals text line is always open at 306-936-6262. We'll take a break. When we come back, CFL legend, the sack master, Charleston Hughes will join the show right here on the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. One full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
The postal strike has thrown a monkey wrench into the world-famous Keniston Superdraft. If you're waiting for your forms and they don't show up, head over to superdraft.com and print them off today. There's still $90,000 in total cash prizes to be won in the world-famous draft. Don't miss out. And yes, the Super 8 is back. Don't wait for the mail. Hit up superdraft.com. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Superdraft. Deadline is October 28th, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Your Crawford's No Frills is here for you as the weather gets cooler and warm meals are being served around the family table. Crawford's No Frills considers themselves to be family, which explains their low prices. You wouldn't overcharge family, would you? The Crawford's No Frills family have great tasting quality food, special deals, and customers. So visit and plan your next family meal at No Frills. No bells, no whistles, no frills. Say yes to Crawford's No Frills. We won't be beat.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Welcome back to Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
When you make a mistake, you just got to own up to it. So yes, I do know Connor did score his first goal last night. Sorry, I said none. He's got one, but are you still worried? Through 7 games, Connor McDavid only has the 1 goal. Great. I can be planning a show for 2 weeks and Colson can't find video, but he can find video for this within 14 seconds. So there's Connor last night. If we're being honest, who was really watching Ottawa Senators games? And he scored early in the first period. So 1 goal in 7 games. I know, he's fine. He's part of the slow start as well. The slow start. They just don't necessarily look all that right when they play 5-on-5. Did Evan Bouchard yesterday. Oof, man. Welcome back to the Sports Cage. How are you? It's the Wednesday edition. Charleston Hughes is standing by. I thought I was texting him. No, I thought I was texting my wife earlier in the day, and I actually ended up texting Charleston one of the family messages that should go back and forth between a husband and a wife, and he just sent back the crying emoji. He's like, is this for me? I'm like, yeah, no. That was for the wife, but she's not invited on the Sports Cage like you are. Want to talk to him. So the CFL hands out its awards today, or the nominations for the awards. Most outstanding player, Brady Oliveira, is the defending most outstanding player in the CFL. Stiff competition this year. Let's see. You got Nathan Rourke. You got Brady again. You got Trevor Harris. You got Justin Rankin. And And who else am I missing? Who else? Oh, Dedrick Mills from the Calgary Stampeders. I think it's Nathan Rourke. Brady's had an okay season, and he's been the best bomber, but not the most outstanding player in the league. I think they're going to give that to Nathan Rourke. And if Nathan does some... Now, I don't know when the final votes are coming, but if he does damage in the playoffs, well, yeah, but just to see how he's kind of rallied this team, that kind of makes sense. As we went through the Rider nominees earlier, I don't think there was anything that was standing out as not, right. The only question I could have is A.J. Allen has played great on defense, but Jameer Thurman is your most outstanding defensive player. Now, Jameer's been in that middle linebacker spot all year, and Allen, it was some games before he got in there. Good problem to have, right? You got Peyton Collins for rookie, Nick Weig, special teamer, offensive lineman, Jamarcus Hardrick. I wonder how close it was, Jamarcus Hardrick and maybe a Logan Ferland vote, like if the voters were picking. And Trevor Harris is your most outstanding player. We will hear from A.J. Allen a little later on the show. Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him after practice today as we get ready for Week 21 in the CFL. Ottawa at Hamilton on Friday. Now, that's going to be in the, what do they call that, the GTA, in and around Toronto. How many people do you think in and around the GTA there, Coulson, on Friday night, when the Toronto Blue Jays throw that first pitch, 6:08 at Rogers Center against the LA Dodgers, might switch away from the Ottawa Red-Black Hamilton Ticat game?
The only people I think doing it might be the people that are in the stadium already with the Argos, watching the Argos game. And they're just down at concession. They're like, oh, Blue Jays game up there. I'm going to have the Argos game on my phone.
Let's say you're Glenn Suter and you're doing the game, and I don't know if Suits is, because Suits loves the Jays. Like, do you even have like your phone? Like, you've got all of your equipment in front of you, your telestrator, you're all that, you're calling the game. Do you have your phone down low, running the app, and you're watching the baseball game secretly? Not you wouldn't tell anybody. But you got an eye on it?
The official answer we got yesterday was that he is going to PVR it. That's the official answer. I'm not going to speculate as to what he's doing during the game, but I was going to say regarding the award nominations, if you go to CFL.ca, it does give the list of league-wide and from each team, and it does tell you if they were a unanimous nomination or not.
Yeah.
So, for instance, for most outstanding player, Nathan Rourke and Justin Rankin and Trevor Harris were unanimous from their teams. A.J. Allen was our unanimous most outstanding Canadian. For offensive linemen, like you said, Jamarcus Hardrick wasn't unanimous. So I'm wondering how many other people were voting for maybe a Furland or... Yeah.
He had, don't get me wrong, he had a good year, but when I look at that O-line, it's him and Furland basically have been the two stalwarts all year, because there's been changes in a bunch of other, but those two, for the most part, have been the two most consistent. And then last week, you sure noticed when they weren't in there, right?
Yeah.
The one that I'm curious,
the one that I'm curious to see is out of Winnipeg, most outstanding special teams player and rookie, Trey Vaval, their returner DB. Trey Vaval. That one I'm curious to see how he does in the voting, because he was a weapon this year. And Robert Carter Jr. out of BC with that ridiculous interception.
Yeah. I want to ask Charleston when he comes on if he's ever been nominated for one of these. He probably has. And is it, do guys care? Do they care more about winning? Is there financial incentives like in your contract? Like if you get one of the CFL player awards, is there something financially there? Maybe. If your agent's smart and you're trying to get the most for your client.
According to Wikipedia, which we know is skeptical when it comes to Charleston Hughes stats, he was the West most outstanding player in defensive player in 2013. So he didn't win the league wide. We won the
Grey Cup. Oh,
yes, but he was with Calgary then.
The Stamps, the Stamps.
Yeah, and he, where was it? I'm trying to see who won that year, but I can't find that. 2013. Yeah, I'll keep looking. But...
We brought this up on the show. I think it was back in August. Was it back in August? No, or was it later? Like with the Jays being so hot that somewhere there's a TV executive going, man, imagine if this just wasn't on the free cable package, if we could make these games pay-per-view and like charge a whole bunch of money. Because what was it, the viewership from the game on Monday, there was 8 million of one of the most watched things in Canadian history ever. Could you imagine, there's somebody there that has an accounting background going, could you imagine if we could have charged blank for that? And I think, Colson, would you not agree? Jays mania is so nuts right now that people would be like, yeah, I'd kick in an extra few just to watch if it meant I couldn't.
Yeah, right now when it's so crazy, I could see that happening, that people would still be willing to pitch in for it. The way this year started, I think it would have been a rough start to the year if that was how their whole season was sold. And
I mentioned, hey, nobody has mentioned the front office and any of the moves that they have made or not made in about 4.5 to 5 months now. You do not hear about Atkins and Shapiro. Not a thing. Right now, they're geniuses. Right now, they're the most beloved sports management in the country. And a lot of times, especially in a market like Toronto where everything is under the microscope, that's not great. I'm looking forward to it. I know that I still remember the 92-93 Jays run was a lot of fun. It was a little different back then. The TV, if you were exotic or rich, you had a 27 to 32-inch tube TV. And maybe you had that on display as you had people over to show off or brag. Everybody drank and smoked back then. Let's see, what else was different?
I didn't. I wasn't around.
Yeah, I know you weren't. I know you were going to say that you weren't alive then when the Jays. So for a lot of Jays fans like yourself, this is a whole new era of Jays baseball where a lot of us older people, it's been since 92, 93 when they won those World Series.
That's a generation ago.
Oh, it's a couple generations ago. There's been nothing since. I'll go back to the fact.
I was going to say 2013 was Chip Cox, by the way, Defensive Player of the Year. I found it.
Ooh, I liked Chip Cox because he played for Montreal and he played a little dirty as well. He was a little bit of a dirty player, always on the edge, like a Micah Awe who plays for the BC Lions. Micah's always on the verge, like Adam Bighill, always on the verge of.
They play
could
aggressive.
Be a suspendable offense.
They play aggressive. When it's like edge. When you're like, okay, that might have been a dirty play, but that's not who they are. That's called aggressive. Okay. Sometimes they are a dirty player.
When you can stack up a highlight pack of 7, 8, 9 aggressive plays in one season, yeah, maybe that is kind of who you are.
Maybe.
So let's see. Friday night, Ottawa Hamilton kicks off at 5. And then the click out happens at around 6:07. First pitch goes at 6:08. Then Calgary and Edmonton to wrap up the doubleheader on Friday night. Oof. Especially since now the Stamps they win. It's playoff positioning. It strengthens their spot. Of course, they want to win. Does Edmonton want to play spoiler? Probably. Will Trey Ford get some playing time in this game for Cody Fajardo? Or are they going to start the experiment of maybe he turns into a slot back or a wide receiver? He's an incredibly talented football player. He just may not be a quarterback. He's got impressive speed. Then Saturday, this game, let's say Montreal at Winnipeg. Winnipeg's at home. Winnipeg needs to win. They're still in the mix. Montreal surging. Jason Moss is a competitor. He doesn't like to lose. You'd have to think you're going to see Davis Alexander on Saturday. For how long? I don't know. They want to win. Establish that dominance, because if in a week that they're playing in the semifinal where Winnipeg goes to Montreal, it's all about sending a message. And then the Lions are in town to take on the Riders Saturday at 5. I bet you it's the same situation. A lot of Rider fans going to be at the game, but they may have their phone out watching the Jays game once it starts. Does that make you a multi-sport athlete, Colson? Or a multi-sport fan? Can you consider yourself a hybrid then? Because you're going to be doing two things at once?
I don't see why not.
Yeah. We're waiting Charleston Hughes. He could be anywhere. He could be in the mountains of Wyoming. I think he was in North Dakota last time we talked to him. Sometimes he's at the gym. Sometimes he's at his house where he has wrestling belts in the background. As we await him, Colson, do we have it ready to go? A.J. Allen is one of the nominees this year for one of the player awards, and Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him after practice today.
I'm joined by A.J. Allen, the Saskatchewan Roughriders 2025 nominee as Most Outstanding Canadian. A.J., how cool is this?
Incredibly special, man. I really couldn't do this without my teammates and my coaches, from the D-line all the way to linebackers and DBs. And it means so much to me to, get the recognition. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's really cool. But again, still trying to go 1-0. We got bigger fish to fry. But it's really awesome.
You often say, I'm just a kid from Burlington. Honestly, how much pride does that kid from Burlington have being named the top Canadian on the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
I mean, that's why I say it. I'm just a kid from Burlington because I'm if I can do it, a lot of people can too. It's just a combination of putting the work in and putting your head down and working. So it means so much. It goes with the message, right? It's possible. It's really possible for anybody. Get your head right, get your body right, and think you can do the things that you want to be. You can prove yourself right, given any opportunity, whatever you want to do. So it means so much.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey from special teams to starting on defense.
It's been roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster for sure. I've been here with 6-12, right? That was 2 tough seasons of disappointment at the end of the day, right? As we didn't achieve what we wanted to. So I think it's just a testament to me personally, and the patience that I'm able to show and things like that. Again, it's also a testament to my coaches and the faith that they put in me, my teammates, the faith that they put in me, the trust they put in me to make the plays that I'm supposed to, and all those things like that. So it's been a hell of a journey. I'll tell you what, it's taken a lot of work. It's taken a lot of patience. It's taken a lot of friendship, a lot of trust. But again, just really proud, man. Really proud. It's really cool.
You were selected in the 2020 draft in the midst of a global pandemic. And here we are today. Does that seem like a lifetime ago?
It really does, man. It really does. It feels like it was like 3 lifetimes ago, honestly. So much has changed for me personally. Even the CFL, so much has changed in the league itself. You get the rules and the teams I've been with, things like that. So, yeah, it feels like so long ago. I've changed significantly since that time, and whether that be mindset, body, things like that. So, it does feel like a lifetime ago. I was a whole different kid from Burlington back then.
From training camp in Saskatoon to where we are now, obviously another time span that we're talking about. Have you seen yourself, though, in the progressions that you've made on the field?
Yeah. I'm trying to be great, and that comes with trying to win every day. So if I'm not improving every day, I want you to get on my butt. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to. I'm really trying to. So I hope I'm not the same person I was week 1. I really hope not. And I hope that I'm not the same guy next week and the week after that and the week after that. I'm always trying to improve, and whether that be on a football field or outside of it. So it does feel like a lifetime ago. It also feels like a whole different age. If you told me this was going to happen in preseason or in training camp, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are.
When you look back, at what point in your career did you believe that you could become a starter on defense in the Canadian Football League?
I think for me personally, it clicked in my second year when I was getting rotation reps with Micah Tights. I think that's kind of my eureka moment of like, I can do this. I'm on the field, I feel comfortable, I still have room for improvement, but I belong here, and that's something I could do. So I'll say that my second year is kind of when I had that eureka moment.
Was that always your goal, becoming a starter?
My goal is always to be the best A.J. Allen possible, whether that be on special teams, whether that be on defense. I would say I'm a pretty opportunistic person, and I believed in myself. I definitely had the goal of being a Canadian starter and Canadian All-Star, things like that, right? But my goal is to be the best A.J. Allen possible. I'm not trying to be anything but that. I'm trying to prove myself right every day. If you ask me, though, I do believe that I can be elite and I can be a Canadian starter at a high level, and I can be, just great. I can do this. So if you ask me, yes, I've always had that goal for myself, but at the end of the day, you know, different team, different role, different dynamic, things like that. I'm just trying to be the best A.J. Allen I could be in whatever role that my coaches and teammates believe that I should be in.
Let's talk a little bit about the trust that you've earned. Obviously, you came in this season and you made a statement in training camp that you were able to play at the level required to meet the team's standard. How does it feel to have earned that trust from your coaches?
They've helped me so much. And it really just starts with, like, the faith of putting the time and effort into coaching me, into directing me in the right direction, into correcting even the small things, feet, hands, eyes, things like it starts like that, and it starts like ever since I got here, ever since they got here as well. Even teammates, you know, guys like Scoop, Micah Johnson on the D-line, and Mike Rose, able to, you know, I'm doing this, so you can do, you know, things like that, those small communications. All the LBs, whether that be on specials or on the field with Thurm, us able to communicate helps us make better plays. And same with the DBs, guys like Rowe, Sales, Nelly, TC, Fields, and Reeve and Twando, like everybody able to communicate with each other. I think a big part of it, again, is that we are friends, so it's easy to talk to each other, whether we're wrong or right, and fix things. So they've been an absolutely huge impact. Like, being able to trust them and them being able to trust me is a difference between making plays and not making plays, but the difference between hesitation and no hesitation. So I think it's instrumental. They've been extremely important for me.
A.J. Allen is the most outstanding Canadian nominee. You have to wear the maple leaf on your back. So have you been showing any of your teammates some great Canadian things?
100%. I was talking to AP the other day. He'd never heard all dress before. Never heard of it. He found it online one time. He said, I got to try that. So I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, always telling people, like, I mean, some of the difference between college football over here and college football over there. And then, you know, you got your Canadian things as well. We just got the two new LBs, Civi and Alonzo. They never had poutine before. So we got it for them. And they were cool. They liked it a lot. So, no, I'm proud of it. And anybody that comes here, I'm open to, you know, welcome.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
Nelson GM in Assiniboia and Avonlea is proud to salute the agriculture producers. If you're looking for that perfect vehicle to fit your ag lifestyle, check out their new and used lineup at either location. With lots on the lot to choose from, they've got tons of new and used trucks now in stock. And if they don't have it, they'll get it for you. That's small town service with a long-standing reputation of one of the province's premier GM dealers. Proudly serving southern Saskatchewan for 65 years. NelsonGM.com.
The good times and great deals are rolling at EB Power Sports in Assiniboia. Now through October 31st, Kawasaki is offering mega cash savings and good times financing on select 2024 and 2025 models. Stop by EB Power Sports in Assiniboia to explore the full Kawasaki lineup, bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides built for adventure. Good times, great deals. Kawasaki and EB Power Sports, letting them roll all season long.
All the farmland and equipment you could need are available at auction this fall with Ritchie Brothers. A wide variety of farmland auctions across Western Canada will begin in earnest in October and run into December to get you ready for the next season. With new parcels of land and equipment continually added to their inventory, make sure to visit their website so you never miss an opportunity. Head over to rbauction.com to get started. Again, that's rbauction.com.
Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local lotto spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
WHL action at the Brand Center tonight. The Pats are hosting the Lethbridge Hurricanes. It's going to be a 7 o'clock face-off, and you can catch the action right here on 620 CKRM. We'll have the pregame show starting at 6:30. Elsewhere, the Red Deer Rebels in Swift Current to take on the Broncos. Prairie Junior Hockey League tonight. The Saskatoon Quakers take on the Saskatoon Wesleys. Saskatchewan Under-18 AAA, Yorkton Maulers and Notre Dame to take on the Hounds. On the female side, the Swift Current Wildcats taking on the Regina Rebels. The WHL Cup, Team Saskatchewan's going to take on Team BC. Face-off's going to go about 4:15. We'll keep an eye on that. 4 games in the NHL tonight. Canadiens in Calgary to take on the Flames. Face-off there goes at 6:30. That's early. Look, everything they do for the East Coast, right? Just bending. NBA tonight. Toronto Raptors taking on the Atlanta Hawks. And that's your Sports Ticker. All right, let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. I had said before the break that today, as teams are announcing their MOP nominees for the CFL, I'm naming him as our MOG, Most Outstanding Guest. He returns once again, triumphantly in Wyoming, could be in North Dakota, could be in Wisconsin, could be in Washington, D.C. on the lawn of the White House. He's Charleston Hughes.
What's going on?
Right.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Where are you at?
I'm always in the weirdest places. You can see my background. I'm somewhere strange.
Well, does the state have a name you're in that's strange, or where are you?
I'm in Newtown, North Dakota.
And are we building an oil well there? What are we doing? Are we building a facility, a battery, a pump? We putting in pump jacks? What's happening?
We still building facilities, man. That's what doing what I do best.
Drill, baby, drill. All right, so the Riders, everybody announced their nominees this year. Trevor Harris is Most Outstanding Player. It was unanimous. Are you in that same boat? That TH is the guy for the Riders?
I think he is, man. He played one of his better years. I'm happy about, him just being healthy, man. That was the hard thing for him, is just, remaining healthy, staying healthy, and being able to stay strong during the entire season. And that's what he's been for the Riders. And it's been, excellent to watch that all year long.
Your guy, you brought him up when he was a young pup, Calgary Stampeder, Jameer Thurman, MOD. You could just pencil him in for this nomination every year, no matter what team he's on, right?
Yeah, man. He's consistent. He's given all he got every single play. He's one of those players that, the Riders are lucky to have somebody like him because he's a leader, and he's one of those guys that not only is vocal on the field, but he's vocal with his shoulder pads. And those are the type of players that you want on your team, for your team to be successful on defense, to keep driving everybody.
So is he one of those guys, like, let's say the Riders got down, let's say it's 21-0 in the first quarter. Nothing's going right. Things are spiraling out of control. Is he the type of guy that can get everybody back on both sides of the ball?
He's definitely that kind of guy that can get everybody, rally together. If things are going wrong, I would 100% intend on him being the guy to bring the team together and put everybody in the huddle and give them that pep talk that they need to get a spark going during the game.
Financial question, since you're a CFL retiree with a Canadian pension. When you're doing your contracts with your agent, are things like this, nominations and these awards, put in the contract with cash incentives to when they do happen?
Heck yeah. You want to be incentivized for the good accolades and the good achievements that you put out there. So, yeah, being attached to money when it comes to all these awards, that's kind of what you're playing for. You're not only playing for the recognition, but you're playing for the money that's attached to all those awards also.
Colson did one of the number one no-nos when it comes to Charleston Hughes. We went on your Wikipedia page. We don't know if it's real or hashtag fake news, but it says in 2013 you were the West nominee for Most Outstanding Defensive Player. Now, do you remember how much cash you got for that? And who beat you that year? If you didn't win the league award, who beat you?
I feel like 100% I was ripped off, but it was Chip Cox who beat me.
Yeah.
And honestly, he had an awesome year that year, man. He had like 115, 120 tackles. I think he might have had like 9 interceptions and 10 sacks. So he had like an unbelievably crazy year. But I think that what I did that year with, like, if I'm not mistaken, like 70 tackles and 18 sacks, and I think I had 3 touchdowns and 8 forced fumbles, 7 forced fumbles. Like, I had like a long stat line too. And I just felt like it was more harder for me because I'm only locked down on one side of the ball as a defensive end. He's a Sam linebacker, so he has access to all over the field. I didn't have access to all over the field. I had to run stuff down and chase it down. But, kudos to him, man. He did win it, and he won it, with the eye of the beholder. So it is what it is, man.
Charleston, I know you a little bit. I don't know you all that well, but I'm going to say that there's no way Chip Cox ever had the swagger that you had on the football field. There's no way. And then swag should have been involved in the voting process, if you're asking me. What are we,
if they had
12
swag,
years removed from this?
Swag in the process of voting for those awards, oh, man,
Ooh.
I'll be in the Hall of Fame already.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into the CFL Hall of Fame. That's very, very questionable and probably raises a lot of questions. So most outstanding player across the league. So Brady Oliveira got nominated again for the Bombers because they had to nominate somebody. He's had an okay season. But he's up against Nathan Rourke and Justin Rankin, Trevor Harris, let's see, Dedrick Mills, and did I say Nathan Rourke, Brady Oliveira? I think this is Nathan Rourke's MOP to lose. Just cause.
I mean, at this point, and the people that they put Nathan Rourke up against, it's kind of like they're handing it to him and saying, here, we're going to give it to Nathan Rourke. Like, why wouldn't they throw up, a Vernon Adams? He had a great year. Although he got hurt for a little bit, maybe he didn't get enough games in, but he still had a very impactful year on the Stampeders season this year. He brought them from being a last place team in the league to now competing for, top 3 going into the playoffs type team. Why wouldn't you put him up against somebody like that? So that's one of those things where you don't know what they're actually judging it on, but I can see Nathan Rourke going ahead and taking it all the way this year. So,
yeah.
It's
Charleston Hughes joining us. Charleston Hughes joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline here on the Sportscage on 620 CKRM. All right, when you were a player and you're having a great season, you're trending towards the playoffs, you won the Win the Grey Cup. And these last couple weeks, it's the rest or rust. Who were you? Do you want to sit or do you want to play?
Oh, I'm playing 100%. I have to play. I mean, if you're an impact player and you feel like with you on the field, the best chances of the team winning is you being on that field, you got to play, man, no matter what.
I agree with that because let's look at Tom Brady and the Patriots when they were going to all those Super Bowls and winning a bunch. Even when there was meaningless football, Tom Brady still played. He was in there because he needed to, like you said, he needed to be Tom Brady if you're an impact player. So last week, the Riders rested a bunch of players. I wanted to see us go in and just dominate Winnipeg if we could. Not that we could just show up and that we're going to dominate, but let's make a statement because I think beating the Bombers for the 3rd time means more than potentially beating the Lions this weekend. But we lose that game. Now, this week, it sounds like you're going to see some starters because guys want to play. I don't think you can go into the playoffs on a potential 2-game losing streak because, Charleston, you just can't turn it on and off, right?
It's hard to turn it on and off, man, especially when you get a bye involved in there and you got some time off. I mean, you got to keep your guys on rhythm and keep your guys on pace. So from trending in the past, you can intend on some key starters playing for at least a quarter or two, just to stay in shape, just to keep their mental focus still on football. and just the dress and even if you just got the gear on, that makes a difference when it comes to playing football. So you can intend on those guys playing at least a half. I'll bet you go see guys for a half.
Well, as a fan, I want to see this really good Saskatchewan Roughrider team take on the hottest team in the CFL, the BC Lions. Like, I want to see best on best. I want to see, do we have an answer for Matthew Betts, who, by the way, Charleston, you've been that guy on a run. Is Matthew Betts right now, does he feel like he's unstoppable, that nobody can block him because he's in the zone?
Man, he was coached up by one of the best, to do it, John Bowman. So it's a rollover effect now where John Bowman kind of unlocked the cheat code for him and taught him exactly, what to do, what to look for, and how to play the game. So even when I look at him and I watch him play and I watch him get off the ball, I know exactly what he's doing. And I know to a T that John Bowman is the one that taught him that, because only a veteran player would know how to do certain things on the field to know, what your triggers or your KPIs, your performance indicators, man, that let you know what to do on the field and when to do it. And he's got it locked down 100%.
I think we've talked about this before, that you knew in certain games, if you had an offensive lineman beat in the first quarter, you would own him all game. Is Matthew Betts doing that to defenders right now? He's getting them early, and then he's got them for the rest of the 60?
Yeah, man. I think really what makes him a unique and a special player is the simple fact that he doesn't complain. And you can see it in his play. You can see it in the way he moves on the field. He might get chip blocked one play. He might get double teamed one play, but he keeps rushing with the same intensity and the same focus and the same drive, every single play after play after play. And when you got a player like that, man, that's a special thing, because I've had plenty of players throughout the league, this year and past years, who complain about double teams and chip blocks and not getting the pass rushes that they want. But sometimes you got to stop the complaining. You just got to go out there and get it the best way you can. And you can't let things like that slow you down. You got to find ways to still improve and impact the game, even when you are getting double teamed. And I think Bess is doing a good job of doing that.
We have 30 seconds left. This is your final chance to change your preseason prediction. You got the stamp thing wrong that they're missing the playoff, but you said Saskatchewan Roughriders, Hamilton Ticats in the Grey Cup. This is the final chance for you to change any of those two teams. Do you still see it playing out that way? Because some teams are playing good. Are you sticking with the Riders and the Ticats?
I am going to change I said.
Whoa!
I know, man. I know. I'm going to retract back, and I'm going to put Montreal in place of Hamilton. But I'll still keep the Riders there.
Okay. That, I think a lot of people are okay with. If you would have changed the Rider side of things, then we'd have to have a whole other hour conversation with you as to why. So I think so too. I just think right now Montreal is the better team. Sir, we will let you go enjoy the plains of North Dakota. As always, we appreciate your time. CFL legend. He's our MOG, most outstanding guest on the Sports Cage. He's Charleston Hughes. Sir, have a great afternoon. And a little Ric Flair to wrap it all up. All right. Time to take a break. When we come back, hour 2 of the show, we will go inside the NHL with Eric Francis, our NHL insider from Sportsnet. Sports Cage continues right here on 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the BC Lions. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by Salford Equipment, Western Ag Professional Agronomy, and the Saskatchewan NDP Caucus. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Look, honey, Carl's out there again with his Husqvarna snow thrower.
He's clearing our driveway again. He's a snow angel with a pull cord. Just lending a hand, folks.
Carl, we owe you dinner. No, a weekend trip. No, naming our first grandkid Husqvarna Carl.
Or maybe just get your own Husqvarna.
Brilliant!
Stop bugging Carl. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielandrental.com.
Now I've got you all to myself.
Fall means pumpkin spice, falling leaves, and slippery roads. When the temperature drops, so does your tire's grip. Enter Quality Tire. Don't wait for that first icy morning to find out you need new tires. Quality Tire will get you into the right set for the season so you can stop quicker, handle better, and keep smiling all season long. Stay ahead of the frost with Quality Tire. Trusted for the road ahead with 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca. Let's be honest, 5 inches might be fine for the city boys, but out here on the farm, you need something a little more impressive. Prairie 6-inch eaves troughs are built bigger to handle heavy rains, wide roofs, and serious flow. No overflowing, no messing around, just 6 solid inches of high-performance gutter. Because when the skies open up, you'll be glad you went bigger. See Prairie 6-inch eaves trough, your farm shop specialist, prairieeavestrough.ca.
Whoa, what's that?
Oh, that's just my telephone.
Are you maybe not as up to date as you could be?
Hello? Oh, hello, Elsie.
Head to Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and check out their selection of top-of-the-line smartphones. Here you go, Grandma.
Oh, isn't this lovely? Whoa.
Visit Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today. Check out their new renovations and say hi to the gang.
Hello?
With industry-leading quad-track technology, experience the efficient power to pull any implement. Plus, get subscription-free Case IH tech that unlocks greater productivity, accuracy, and precision. Steger tractors don't just pull, they perform with power you can trust and technology that works for you. Stop by Redhead Equipment, your local Case IH dealer, to learn more about how Steger tractors can take your productivity to the next level. Redhead Equipment, making tracks since 1948.
Well, harvest is done, equipment's put away. What are you doing now?
Planning for next year.
What's left to plan? You already bought seed and fertilizer.
Sure, we do that every year, but why don't we treat our openers the same way? Nothing's more important than getting that seed in the ground, right?
Dutch Agriculture's preseason program is on now. Their price freeze is extended till the end of October. Buy now to save big and get free freight. Visit DutchOpeners.com. Dutch Agriculture, on farm for you.
This is 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere in high-res audio with the CKRM app.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. The Saskatchewan legislature is back in session, with Premier Scott Moe promising to get tough on drugs and require those with addictions to receive treatment against their will. The measure was outlined in the province's throne speech, which says some people with addictions are unable to seek treatment on their own. Moe says ordered treatment would likely only apply to a small number of people.
It would be for those individuals that very much are likely facing arrest, as they would be in a situation where they are in danger of harming themselves or harming someone in the public around them. So it is going to keep our community safer, yes, but it also is going to open up an opportunity and a pathway for hopefully what would be a recovery journey for that individual.
The province also plans to pass a bill that would crack down on those who profit from selling drugs. Saskatchewan's opposition NDP says the province's throne speech lacks bold ideas for change and is silent on China's punishing tariffs on canola. NDP leader Carla Beck says the speech makes no mention of urging Ottawa to remove its tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles.
Right now we have a premier who has skirted around actually saying the words, remove the EV tariffs. We have a premier who is saying different things in different rooms. As I said, our producers need a champion. They need clarity on this issue.
The throne speech says Ottawa should negotiate with China to get the tariffs removed. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is rejecting the notion that he said former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau should be in jail while he spoke on a podcast recently. Poilievre says that he did not say that.
I was asked about the scandals of the last 10 years of the Liberal government, and what would I do if such scandals and corruption were to happen when I become Prime Minister. And I said I would have zero tolerance for corruption. Nobody is above the law.
Poilievre said on the podcast that many Liberal scandals should have ended in jail time before immediately saying Trudeau broke the criminal code at least once. And the Vatican plans to return a few dozen artifacts sought by Indigenous communities in Canada. It's part of settling the Catholic Church's role in helping to suppress Indigenous culture in the Americas. Reporter Chuck Sivertson has more.
The items were taken from Indigenous peoples during colonial periods. Negotiations on returning them ramped up after Pope Francis in 2022 met with Indigenous leaders to apologize for the Church's role in Canada's disastrous residential schools. They were shown some of the items, including wampum belts, war clubs, and masks, and asked for them to be returned. Catholic religious orders helped enforce the Canadian government's policy of eliminating Indigenous traditions, which a special Canadian commission called cultural genocide.
The Vatican insists that the items were, quote, gifts to Pope Pius XI, who wanted to celebrate the Church's global reach, its missionaries, and the lives of the Indigenous people they evangelized. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast is brought to you by Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks at 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, clear and cool with a low of -3. Tomorrow, sunny and a high of 13. For Friday, a mix of sun and cloud and 14. Saturday, game day for the Riders and Lions, sunny and a high of 19. For Sunday, cloudy and 16. And for Monday, cloud showers and a high of 9. Right now, sunny and 13 degrees in Regina.
For 40 years, the team from Line-X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line-X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Game 1 of the World Series is Friday night in Toronto when the Jays will take on the LA Dodgers. And Canadian icon Michael Bublé is conflicted. Born and raised in Vancouver and is a Jays fan, but he is connected to the LA Dodgers. We'll explain how and why a little later on this hour. We'll also hear from Most Outstanding Player nominee for the CFL Canadian Awards, Trevor Harris. I think it's between him and Nathan Rourke who wins MOP this year. Riders win the Grey Cup, hands down. But I think, we just discussed with Charleston Hughes, they may be setting Nathan Rourke up on a platter here. He's already, even after calling the new rule changes garbage, and they still vote him as the nominee for Most Outstanding Player. That's all still to come on hour number 2 of the Sports Cage. Maz McFly, how are you? 767-0620. Put an 866 in front of that. That's a toll-free call. We still do phone calls. Even though we got rid of our landline a couple weeks ago, it was a big, big decision in the Mazurk family. Had to discuss it at least 3 times with my wife over a period of weeks before we did it. But the landline's gone, so maybe you just shoot us a text, 306-936-6262. It is Wednesday, and that's time to chat with our NHL insider. He's Eric Francis.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sports Cage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Sports Select. Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportsselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer.
Hey, pal, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Not bad. So a lot of people know you from here on the Sportscage and just being that good-looking guy on Flames TV on Sportsnet. But you're also kind of a big deal in the community in Calgary. And tomorrow is kind of your day, your thing. The Eric Francis Pizza Pig Out is happening for kids sport. Just give us, for anybody that's not familiar, Cole's notes on this, what it is, the money it raises, how long you've been doing it, because I think this is pretty cool because it all goes back to kids and sports in the community.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's called the Eric Francis Pizza Pig Out. We've been doing it for 23 years.
Whoa.
The crazy thing is I took 5 years off in the middle of it. So I started almost 29 years ago. It just means I'm old, that's all. But it started off as basically a chili cook-off for pizza. And it's kind of mushroomed into this incredible fundraiser for Kids Sport Calgary. I've worked with them for 29 years and take a ton of pride in being associated with that great organization and all they do to put kids into sports and activities and get them off the sideline and eliminate the barriers that prevent them from playing sports. Because my whole life is sports, whether I'm playing it, writing it, watching it, thinking about it. I can't imagine my life without sports. So I don't want kids out there always wondering what it would have been like to play sports. So we've raised over $1.5 million with this little pizza party. We're going to raise over $100,000 tomorrow night at Cowboys, and we'll have 700 people, 700 pizzas. It's a bit chaotic. We often joke that we may have started COVID with the pig out a handful of years ago because we just put all the pizzas in the middle of what we call a trough, and people just reach in and grab a slice and. I guess medically we've been cleared, but we do it a little differently now. It's, we have the pizzerias come and hand out the pizza slices. It's a whole lot more sanitary and people get to connect with these pizzerias. And so, yeah, sorry about the COVID thing, but it was in the name of the kids,
Okay, so if you're the kind of person that's wearing an N95 mask these days in 2025, this may not be for you, but you could still make a donation online. All right, hey, congratulations, best of luck. To me, since I love Hawaiian pizza, it would be great if all 700 of those pizzas were all Hawaiian. Take that, all you people that say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, because yes, it does, and it is delicious.
Wow.
You want to talk hockey?
The pizza, yeah, I do, but you want to talk lifestyle. I think almost anything belongs on pizza, and that's the Pizza Pig Out has proven that. We've had a couple where people are like, really? Like there was a Shriek one year. There was a banana bread pizza. Turned out being phenomenal, but that's a totally different direction. But yeah, it's a whole lot more sanitary now. We're gonna have a ton of fun too. So yeah, let's talk some hockey.
Well. Okay, so I think to probably tonight, in a moment of silence during the Flames game, if we could just bow our heads. Connor McDavid, yes, has finally scored a goal. It is one. But, we're slow starters. Just look, we're all of this. We're all of that. Ottawa last night. So far, what you've seen from the Oilers, are they playing at times down to their competition with this so-called stacked lineup that people are just assuming is going to be back in the Stanley Cup final? Because Ottawa is one of those teams, I think, you shouldn't be blowing 2-0 leads. You should be putting these teams away.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's tremendous parity in the league. And when you go on a road, especially on a long road trip, which they're on right now through the East, you're going to have, you're not going to roll through the East and win every game. So the Oilers are notoriously slow starters with this group, I'm not worried about them at all. Do they play down to the Ottawa Senators? Sure, but I also think the Senators are a team on the up and up, and they're missing Brady right now for sure. There's no question, but I think that this is a team that will be right on the precipice of a playoff spot again. That's not a hot take by any stretch. They're a good young team, so. They found a way to pull it off, and they did it with Stuart Skinner in the net, which is always the headline because he's what the whole season's about. And I don't even know if that's the way it should be. I don't know if that's fair to him, but fair doesn't count in sports. What matters is perception, and perception is there's still a goalie short of being a team that can really roll over teams and dominate in the West again. So they won with Skinner. That's good news for them. And, of course, everybody in Calgary is thrilled about that.
That was Stu Skinner's 100th career win in the NHL. If the Florida Panthers are the class of the league because of what Bill Zito's done in building that championship team and 3 Stanley Cups and 2 Stanley Cup championships, a lot of people talk about how the Montreal Canadiens and what's building there are sort of that team that is on the rise, moving with the young pieces and the draft picks and then the coaching and the moves or all that. Are they, Eric, to you, kind of in that bubbling top 2-3 of the next club? Give them a couple years and watch out what they may do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the way they've built this team. As a matter of fact, for Flames fans, tonight when Montreal's here at the Dome and, this is, hold up a mirror to Montreal Canadiens and hope that you look something like that in 3 or 4 years, and to do that, though, you've got to take those steps backwards that the Montreal Canadiens did, getting those high draft picks, and they've got 3 or 4 of them that are spearheading the charge now. They're really coming of age and they're leading the way. So, tell me what's not to like about the Montreal Canadiens. I think they're starting to build some tremendous depth on the blue line. They've got maybe the third, he was the 3rd highest scoring defenseman last year. He's top 5 anyway, as a rookie, Lane Hudson. I would put him already right there as a top 5 guy in the league offensively anyway. That's not another hot take either. But, him, Mike Matheson's run power plays forever in the NHL, and he could be their backup guy, or Noah Dobson can run a power play for you too, because that's an incredible new acquisition. And he came at the right time. They were starting to develop. They made the playoffs last year. The growth part is still ongoing, but when you get to a certain part, then you can start adding some veterans who really start to really complete your roster. And that's the spot that Montreal's at right now. The Flames are many years behind that. And, a Flames loss tonight would give them just 2 points in their first 8 games. I was looking it up earlier today. I got our stats guys on it. I think 4 teams in the last 40 years have made the playoffs after starting with two points in their first 8 games. So if they lose their 7th in a row tonight, this might be the perfect, time for them to kind of reflect and say, yeah, that team that just beat us right now, that Montreal team, that's what we need to start modeling ourselves after moving forward. So let's embrace the tank and move forward. That's what 90% of people on the streets in Calgary are saying right now, given the start they've had. Start to embrace the tank, and let's start accruing some top draft picks. Already the talk is Calgary trying to get McKenna. It's amazing.
Well, I mentioned in hour 1 of the show and that you'd covered the team for 3 decades, but I can't remember in the 3rd week of October, and there's been some bad Flames teams that you've had to cover, that it's getting written off so soon. No, but yeah, if they lose tonight, then that's 7. And then you said their schedule doesn't get any easier. But then when you look at their roster, it's going to be a 20 guys by committee every game all season. There are no gimmies for them, because I just don't think that we've talked about there's not enough scoring and the level of talent. And some nights you need your stars to be stars. They don't have those. Sometimes you're not going to get an all 19 or 20 guy team effort to gut out a 1-goal win.
Well, it was amazing how many times they got that 20-man effort last year and stayed in that race longer than anyone, could have fathomed. But, to your point, they played a really good game the other night against the Winnipeg Jets, but just so happens to be one of the top 5 teams in the NHL and the best goalie in the NHL. They lost a heartbreaker 2-1. They had a 1-0 lead going into the 3rd period, and they just couldn't finish it off. They had their star act like a star that night. It was Dustin Wolf, but it still wasn't enough. So that's the sad reality kind of facing this team right now. Look, they haven't put together very many 60-minute efforts, but they finally did one the other night, and it still wasn't good enough. So that's just kind of, putting salt in the wound for this team right now. And you talk about, you can't believe how many people are starting to already kind of say this season's over. Look, I've watched this team forever get off to bad starts. Last year was an anomaly, but most years this franchise seems to get off to bad starts, 1-4, 1-3, 2-6, 2-5. And it doesn't, that on the outside, that this shouldn't be a big deal. You still got 75 games to go. But I've watched it. When you're chasing, it's just so hard on a franchise, especially when you've got to outwork everybody you play to win games. And, it's just too big a hill to climb. Like, I'm already ready to write off their season this year. And usually I'm the voice of reason around here. At least I think I am.
Give you about 6 rum and cokes and watch the voice of reason come out. All right, so let's say no one is going to touch a Jonathan Huberdeau contract. All right, so to me, when I look at the roster, I look at potential assets that the Flames could maybe get, draft picks or young players or free up space. Nazem Kadri, obviously. I think Blake Coleman still has value to a team. He could be a good veteran, add somewhere. If there was a third one, Eric, let's take Rasmus Anderson out because that's been talked about, but nothing happens. Who could potentially be a third guy that is maybe attractive to somebody else that if the Flames are going tank city, they could be like, well, if I'm another GM and I know that the pickings aren't awesome on this Flames roster, Coleman, Kadri, and blank.
Man, I'm going to throw Uyghur in there, but, I think he's a future captain here. I think he's the kind of guy you want to build, around to a degree and help young guys become good NHLers. And I would say the same about Coleman. Yeah, I'm sure you could get some pretty good value for him. I mean, that guy helped Tampa Bay win 2 Stanley Cups. He's a big part of that as a depth player. I'm not sure I've ever met a more character guy in the National Hockey League than Blake Coleman. Like, I think that highly of him. And I know management does too. So there's another guy who, whatever sort of direction you go with this team, you're still trying to keep a pretty solid culture with which to build it in. And those are 2 key guys for your culture. So I'm not sure you really want to part with them. Kadri, he's also part of the leadership group, but I would say he's your number 1 asset in terms of guys. If you do that, you're going to start throwing in the towel. But he's still got 3 more years after this left on his contract. So when to cash out, they've got to start debating that on a regular basis this year, next year. After that, you start going down the list. You ask me who else you might. Obviously, Anderson's top of the list, like you said. I don't think you want to start trading away guys like Connor Zary because he's a young guy and you still don't know what you quite have in him. I'll tell you one guy they'd love to trade, and that's Yegor Sharangovich. 5 years left on his contract at $5.75 million. This thing's not aging very well.
His agent should be given an award for Agent of the Year for the fleece job of the year because that is incredible. Hey, last night they did the tribute to Brad Marchand back in Boston. Florida was in town. When you watch that, it's hard not to get choked up when you're watching all of those emotions come through when they show that video. What a guy. And since he went to Florida, won that cup, I liked him. I love him now. Like, he is just the epitome of heart and soul.
Well, he's real. I agree with you. I get if you're a Leaf fan, you hate Brad Marchand because he crushes your soul every year in the playoffs, and he's that feisty guy on the everybody hates him when you're playing against him because he's just that competitive. But I've always loved the character of that guy, and I think it's really shone through. Like even the Tim Hortons commercials he's in, like he's okay to have a little bit of fun with himself. Doesn't take himself too seriously, and boy, did I think the raw emotion was something I wish we'd see more of in sport, especially in hockey where everything's so beige. It was a beautiful moment. I did see a great interview where he was asked, do you regret, leaving the Boston Bruins or how it ended? And I think those are 2 separate questions. You can't regret that you left Boston because you went on and won a cup and you had 3 of the best months of your life. And he said that. He said, but do I wish that the negotiations were handled differently on their side and my side in Boston to prolong my stay there? Absolutely, I do. And maybe it got a little too emotional. Maybe that's on me and maybe that's on them. But here we are. And, I love that he's okay to say, look, I miss this place. This is where I grew up. This is where I won my first cup. And this is where my heart is. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Man, I could watch that video over and over again and they did a great job in Boston too with the tribute, right? Not that I thought they were going to be bitter and kind of be angry about it. They took the high road. They really did him proud, and Boston should be proud of the way the organization, the player, and the team handled themselves.
Only the 3 games in the NHL tonight. Montreal is in Calgary. We talked about that. The Minnesota Wild taking on the New Jersey Devils. I don't know if Kaprizov's lived up to the contract so far yet this season, but are the Devils actually living up to their potential so far? Do you think that because when you look at their roster, there's a lot of names on there, and they seem to be playing good hockey?
Yeah. Well, first of all, with Kaprizov, that contract doesn't start till next year, so he's living up to it. Yeah, I know what you're saying, though. Look, he's a star. He's a superstar. If I had to pick three guys who I think could win the Hart this year, he's in my three. And I know the season hasn't really got underway that much, and he hasn't had a trailblazing start. But give me Kirill Kaprizov as much as possible when I'm watching TV and such. But yeah, the New Jersey Devils they are confounding, aren't they? I do think on paper they have a pretty good little roster there with some good young talent with the Hughes brothers. And, of course, they're going to add Quinn in the next year or so. We can talk about that, and we will talk about that for many, many years to come and all throughout this season because that's happening. But Dougie Hamilton's a guy people forget about when they look at the New Jersey Devils, and he's still one of the best power play defensemen in the league today. And he still plays a big role for that team. Markstrom's confounding, and of late he's been hurt, off and on over the last couple of years. So that's another problem. But Jake Allen stepped in and played extremely well last night. He had the save of the year last night. I think it was on Tavares or Morgan Riley. It was just an incredible save. But yeah, I kind of like the way Jersey is built, and I like the direction they're going. Heischer, Bratt. I mean, you keep going with all these big names who can really fill the net. The question is, can they play well enough defensively? Well, that's why they went out and got that goalie. But unless he can stay healthy, I'm not sure how consistent they can be. So obviously they're a playoff team, and I do think they could win it a round or two. But you just don't see that consistency from them that you'd think you'd see with that roster.
Good Saskatchewan guy Todd McClellan is now trying to run the Iser plan in Detroit. Do you think Todd is the right guy? And do you think that he's got the wings pointed in the right direction this year? They're going to take on the Sabres tonight.
How many years in a row have we talked about how it's either going to be Detroit, Buffalo, or Ottawa that's going to break through and make that playoff, right? And I watched the Detroit game the other night. Dylan Larkin is just such a stud, so underrated because the team's been so bad all these years. But I really think this is the year Detroit breaks through. I think they make the playoffs this year. Certainly of those three, I think they have the best chance of those three. Buffalo might not make the playoffs. I don't know how many years we're going to do these hits, but I'm not sure we'll ever talk about Buffalo making the playoffs in the next couple of years. But yeah, love Detroit. They've got two guys with hyphenated names who I couldn't even tell you right now what they are because I don't know how to pronounce them. I just see them, and they are so high on both these young guys. Add that to the list of guys who they're already starting to build around. And I really like that team, DeBrincat, and even having Kane there as a veteran who can, when you've got Kane as a second or third liner, that's a deep team. So, yeah, I like the direction they're going. And I like Talbot. I think Talbot's a hell of a goalie, still playing well after all these years.
Tonight, you're going to be at the Saddle Dome. It's Montreal-Calgary. If you are a Flames fan sitting next to a drunk Montreal Canadian mob of fans singing "Ole, Ole, Ole" at the end of the game if the Habs are going to win, do you just have to kind of sit there and take it and go, well, if we didn't want them to sing, we probably should have scored more goals and won this hockey game?
That's a pretty likely scenario there, my friend, both with the singing and the Flames not scoring any goals. They've got 9 goals this year, the Calgary Flames have. I was looking at the stats today. Montreal's got 14 different guys who've scored a goal this year, and some of them scored as many as 4 and 5. Flames have 9 goals, period. On paper, this shouldn't be much of a matchup on paper tonight. But again, Flames played well the other night. And if they put together that complete effort and Wolf's in net, obviously they have a chance. I will say that. Calgary Flames probably will continue to have a chance almost every single night. I'm not sure you could say that about a lot of every team in the league. But with their work ethic here, they do. Do I think they'll win tonight? No, I don't.
All righty, sir. Have a great night. We'll catch you on TV later. It's Eric Francis, our NHL insider from Sportsnet for Sports Select. If you run into a Habs fan on the concourse at the hockey game, they'll tell you about that 93 Stanley Cup. Don't worry, they will. They'll bring it up. It's like being vegan. They'll mention it. You don't have to ask. They're just going to bring that up and let you know how that is. Eric, have a great night. It's time to take a break here on the Sportscage. When we come back, the World Series is just a couple days away. Game 1 will go Friday night in Toronto. They're going to take on the Dodgers. And Michael Bublé, who's a proud Canadian, if you've seen any interviews with Michael, he's always proud of where he's from. But there's a connection to the LA Dodgers, an unintended consequence, if you will. We'll explain more and how he feels about it. This is the Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the BC Lions. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by your Saskatchewan AGCO dealers, Quality Tire, and SaskTel. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it. I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Karen explains why she is comfortable investing her money with Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions.
I don't have to worry about it. Once I do it, I know it's looked after, and I have seen good success as well in our investment. He's very knowledgeable, he's very trustworthy, and he wants the best for his clients.
Don't guess with your money. Call Brian at 306-546-2533. SmartInvestingSolutions.ca.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50-50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50-50 is presented by ISC.
I still just don't understand it. It's like buying a jigsaw puzzle and only getting half the pieces. I'm Wood Country Woody, and I like things done right. That's why my garage package came from Wood Country. A Wood Country garage package contains everything you need right from the start, including appearance-grade lumber, all your nails and screws, and walk-in doors with cladded jambs. It's one and done right with Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series fence sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive 4-wheel steering, and Liquid Logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series fence sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today. nicksservice.com.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Can I help you?
Name's Terry Touchdown, sent by Western Pizza. I'm here to deliver the Saskatchewan Roughriders sweet deal. A large 3-topping pizza, 4 sticks of Greek souvlaki, a large Caesar salad, and a liter of soda. All for just $48.95 plus tax. And you're entered to win luxury suite tickets to watch the Riders, like a VIP.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
I think we got to stick close to home and go with Rider Nation here. Our Clutch Performers, the 2025 nominees for the CFL Player Awards. Trevor Harris is your most outstanding player. Jameer Thurman, most outstanding defensive player. A.J. Allen, most outstanding Canadian. Jermarcus Hardrick, most outstanding lineman. Peyton Collins, most outstanding rookie. And Nick Weeb, your most outstanding special teams player. There they are, right there. Those are my Clutch Performers for today. Colson, what do you got?
Well, I don't know. I think I have to give mine to the guy who got his first goal last night, Connor McDavid.
Oh, please. Jeez. That's a $12.5 million goal so far. That's an expensive goal, Oiler management. If we're paying him per goal, he's got one. Could you imagine if he scored once every 7 games, let's say? So if they play 82 games, that means what? There's 75 left.
Isn't it 84 this year, or is that next year?
That's next year. There's 4 preseason games next year and 84 games in the schedule. And they're going to start a little sooner.
82 this year and a goal every 7 games. That's 11 or 12 goals.
Could you imagine?
It's $1 million a goal.
Did you? Well, look when Vlad Guerrero Jr. signed that $500 million contract, and he only had like a couple of home runs. Those were expensive home runs. Now, no one's pulling out the calculator on their iPhone to figure out home runs and salary for Vlad Guerrero Jr. because we're all in love with the Jays. Can do no wrong.
I think most of Blue Jays Nation is pretty okay with the investment there now.
Yeah, well, it's early. All right, let's do this. All right, so speaking of baseball, World Series, Game 1. Dodgers, Blue Jays. I mentioned this on Monday, because we're not going to believe it. But my sister and her husband from Florida, apparently they have tickets to all the games. And they're going to be sitting somewhere behind home plate at Skydome. Somewhere. Good on you. It was pretty funny. Michael Bublé was being interviewed by Michael A. Smith about just all sorts of stuff. And then Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. If you forget the A, people are like, it's Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith and Michael Bublé. And they're chatting baseball and World Series and talking about him being Canadian, being a Jays fan. But the Dodgers use one of his songs. And this is what Bublé had to say about this whole situation and how he's conflicted.
The fact that the greatest ball player, maybe, arguably, ever in the history of the game, every single time he walks up the bat, Ohtani uses my song, "Feeling Good."
That's right. I was going there. Going there.
Then I gotta somehow fight that as a Canadian, my beloved Blue Jays are going to go up against now my hero. I'm conflicted.
So Canada's listening now. Are you going to go for Ohtani? Are you going to engage in some patriotism here?
There's patriotism. Number one, my heart is in Canada. I'm a Canadian. I'm a Canadian patriot. I fly the flag. I bleed the red and white. But there's something deeply sensual about watching.
Listen,
you know what it feels like, dude? Watching him go up and hearing myself, and then watching him do what he does is like, I can't believe that I am a small part of history. Like, for me, this is bigger.
It's not
this
a small
is big.
part. It's not a small part because we're looking at a guy in Shohei Ohtani that might be the greatest player we've ever seen since Babe Ruth. But if you can get to that bullpen for the Dodgers, you can push this to a 7-game. You might be able to win this series.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as everybody thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be way closer. I really do. I think it'll be a battle. But this is the greatest thing about sports and the greatest thing about a best of 7. You know what I mean? You just never know.
How can you got to love Michael Bublé. He's a charming guy. He's a great musician. He's a proud Canadian. But Michael, I'm going to challenge you on the end. He's like, I'm Canadian. I'm this, I'm that. Okay. But let's add in, I live in the States. Okay. No, I can't fault you for that. I mean, you're probably in LA. All of your contracts get paid in American dollars. When you go on tour, you're not asking to be paid in Canadian money. Makes sense. Why would you? So there is that. But so if you miss that, it's Michael Bublé. Shohei Ohtani, uses a Bublé song as his walk-up song when he comes up to bat. And although they're not going to play it in Toronto, but when it's out in LA, and if he does Ohtani things, it could be a short series, Jays fans. It'd be long. Colson, do we have this clip here? This is Max Scherzer after the game the other night, just talking about his experience playing in a Canadian market. I mean, Scherzer's played everywhere. He's made a ton of money. He's won before, but he just talks about how unique it is being part of this Blue Jay thing this year.
You're going back to the World Series. Take in this scene around us right now.
This is incredible. The stadium is erupting. Like this moment, you can't even describe it. Words can't describe it.
The George Springer home run. You've got a lot of pages in your scrapbook, Max. What's that one going to say?
Wow. Just wow. Wow, what a homer. I was in a bullpen. I saw it coming right over my head.
Max, your first World Series, you were not yet a father. Now you're a dad of 4. Yep. What does this experience mean to your whole family?
Everybody, parents, family, all the cousins, and everybody around me, all my friends, they're all part of this. But yeah, especially to get the kids here and do another World Series.
I know as a fellow starting pitcher, you had to love seeing Bassett come out there. How about he flips that 72-mile-an-hour curveball for a strike?
I called it. I was in a bullpen. I was like, Bassett, throw the curveball, and he did. I was like, I knew he had that. It was a big-time pitch. I knew he had it.
And Max, what have you learned about this city, this country, by pitching here this season?
I mean, just the atmosphere that's been at the Rogers Center this whole season. Man, the way we play ball, we fed off the energy of the crowd. And everything we've done, I mean, it's this moment right here. That's why you don't have words to describe it.
And finally, Max, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you play with a lot of superstars. Yeah. How do you describe what you've seen from him this month?
Yeah, we got another superstar, don't we?
All right, that's Max Scherzer. Man, he looked so excited. So is he going to be the starting pitcher for Game 1? The Jays, they haven't announced their starting lineup yet. Blake Snell will start Friday, Game 1, Dodgers and Blue Jays. Man, if they did 8 million-ish households or however they judge the ratings for TV on Monday for the game where they clinched, I can only imagine what Friday night is going to be. But as we mentioned earlier in the show, no disrespect to the Ottawa Red Blacks and Hamilton Ticats. Maybe people aren't going to watch. It's just a hunch that I have. Okay, so speaking of football, it's a big day. The nominations came out across the league for the player awards. Now, these are voted on by writers, and some of them are unanimous. Like Nathan Rourke, most outstanding player in BC, unanimous. And why wouldn't it be? But here in Saskatchewan, Trevor Harris, most outstanding player, unanimous as well. Hand up if we had a vote, and we don't. Ours would have been in there for TH and what he's done for the Riders this year. Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him after practice today.
Joined by the Saskatchewan Roughriders 2025 Most Outstanding Player nominee, Trevor Harris. And Trevor, I know individual accolades don't mean a lot to you, but there's got to be a small sense of pride, doesn't there, in being named this team's MOP?
It's obviously a huge honor, and I'm very thankful, but we have a lot of deserving candidates, and this is the ultimate team sport. And so, it's like the turtle on a fence post, man. If you see a turtle up on a fence post, he didn't get there on his own. And I know it's a quote cliche, but it's the truth. And so, the fact that I'm sitting up here, not here by myself, it's O-line, it's AJ, it's receivers, it's people filling in, stepping up. Even when I was out, Jake stepping up and playing good football. And so it's very, very honor. I'm very, very thankful. But if it scored us points this weekend or in the playoffs, I'd like it a little bit more.
Now, other nominees, Jamarcus Hardrick, Peyton Collins, in Rookie and Offensive Lineman of the Year, respectively, you get an opportunity to see their work up close week in and week out. And with the leadership that you've provided them, they believe that they've grown their game. What have you seen from those two individuals?
It's awesome. They deserve it very much so. And shoot, I think we'd be remiss to not, mention the other guys. Shoot, Ferlin probably could have been or should have been O-lineman of the year last year, and he's had a tremendous year. We've had a lot of people step in at, the left guard, and obviously Brammer's been great. We've had Darius Washington come in. We've had a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, in that offensive line with DJ, and a lot of people start and come in and just be, stalwarts for us. And so for Peyton, it's awesome, because I have my nephew knows Peyton Collins, and so when he came in here, he kind of was just like telling me a little bit about that, and it's been fun to get to know him through the time. And obviously Yoshi doesn't need an introduction in this league, and he's not one that wants pats on the back, but I made sure I went up and congratulated him, because last year what he went through with his leg and fighting back, not only just to get back and be able to play, but play at the level he's been at, has been awesome.
Now, very early on in training camp, Trevor, you talked about being healthy and talked about a vision that you had for this team and this offense. How cool is it to start to see those dreams start to slowly become reality?
Yeah, it's not really like the end thing I envisioned, right, obviously, but it's pretty darn cool. I mean, shoot, I think you could probably sit quite a few people up here next to me with Mueller and the quarterback room with everything we've done, preparation-wise, and AJ protect and block and catch and everything that he's done, and, the receivers with, Keyshawn and Dante and Sam and Shafe and Pick. I mean, the list goes on. Tommy, I don't want to, it's been great. But I think this group is, what we're capable of is what we're aiming toward, and we've maximized the regular season, but we've got tunnel vision on what we want to accomplish as a group together. But that all being said, this is very cool. I'm very, very thankful. I hope it can glorify my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I'm just really thankful that I get to be the quarterback of this organization, and just pray that we can get our team goals done together, because that's what this game's about.
In totality, you've won 11 games as the starting quarterback for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this season, thrown for 4,000 yards. Where does this MOP nominee all fall in and fit into that?
Oh, it's pretty cool, but we still have one more game, and hopefully we can come out there and execute at the level that we think we're capable of, and I really feel good about where this group is at. And so, it's our job as leadership group on the team to make sure that, our vision is headed right toward where we want to go. And you can kind of feel a great shift in focus from this group over the last week and a half or so of hey, we're gearing up to be the team that we need to be come this third Sunday in November. But to get there, it's just about the aggregate of marginal gains every day. And so for us, it's just about, approaching every day with a champion mentality. And as Mace's told us this year, we're on the clock, and we've got the group to do it. And so it's making sure that we're just maximizing every day.
Is this the best that you've felt, Trevor Harris, 17 games into a season?
I think from a mental standpoint, from an anticipatory standpoint, and layering throws and different types of throws, probably. But I would say a lot of that goes to our receiving core, to Mark Mueller and to AJ and our guys up front. And we've done a tremendous job of getting on the same page, and it's been a lot of hard work. And a lot of times it looks really good, and then there's times where it kind of takes a step back. But I really feel like this last month, really since like the second half of the Edmonton game, I really feel like we've started really pushing the envelope and getting pushing toward where we want to get to. I feel like we've been really efficient, and our offensive line's been great. Mueller's obviously been awesome all year, and so I feel like we're building toward what we need to get to. And and I still honestly feel like my best football is right in front of me. I really do. I know that probably get sick of hearing that and roll your eyes probably, but I really believe that.
It's also the fourth time that you have been selected as the most outstanding player on your team. Is there anything that makes it more or less distinctive this time around?
Yeah, like I kind of told you a few weeks ago, that if I'm ever fortunate enough to be able to sign a one-day contract or go out on as a Rough Rider, this is the place that I've kind of feel like I've loved being the most, and so it does mean something to you. But at the same time, it's a complete team award. But to be recognized for it's pretty cool, and it's one of those things that when you're done playing, or I think my son TJ probably likes this stuff more than me. He sees like the where you climb in the all-time ranks and stuff, and he's at 8 now, and he's starting to get it. He plays Madden and deals with the salary cap and the postseason awards, and he's asking me about all this stuff, and so he enjoys it a lot too, and so it's pretty cool. Obviously, being able to have my kids here, and for them to see stuff like that's really neat, and like I said, just really thankful, and just all glory to Jesus.
October is Customer Appreciation Month at Extreme Hockey and Umbrella Marketing. It's pretty easy. Just submit your receipt for your corporate or team apparel order, and you could be one of the lucky winners at month end to receive up to $1,000 back towards your purchase. Locally owned, community-oriented, and customer-focused. And of course, don't forget about their price match guarantee.
Yes, the Super 8 is back. Don't wait for the mail. Hit up superdraft.com. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Superdraft. Deadline is October 28th, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Freeze Tallman wants you to get her done before the winter. They can save you time and hassle by delivering your building materials directly to your home or cottage. They have siding, roofing, brown-treated lumber, composite decking, aluminum railing, fencing, everything you need to finish your outdoor building projects before snow falls. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Back to our regular spot, Pump Jacks Cathedral.
You know, I thought Pump Jacks was a kind of boot polish till last month.
What are you getting?
Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful.
You had me at meaty.
Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage.
And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jacks Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Pats are back in action tonight. They'll take on the Lethbridge Hurricanes at the Brandt Center. Pats, after that third win, have been playing better hockey as of late. You can hear Pats hockey tonight starting at 6:30 right here on CKRM. Face-off will go at 7. Another action close to home. The Red Deer Rebels and Swift Current take on the Broncos. Prairie Junior Hockey League tonight. The Saskatoon Quakers take on the Wesleys. Saskatchewan AAA Yorkton Maulers will take on the Notre Dame Hounds in Wilcox. Face-off there is 7:30. Saskatchewan Female AAA Swift Current Wildcats taking on the Regina Rebels. The WHL Cup Team Sask is taking on Team BC. National Hockey League tonight, only 3 games. Montreal in Calgary to play the Flames. Their one and only trip this season. Face off there. It's early. It'll go at 6:30. NBA action tonight. You've got the Raptors in Atlanta to take the Hawks. Thanks for being part of the Sports Cage. Just a couple minutes left in this hour number 2. We've chatted with Eric Francis so far today and Charleston Hughes. If you missed any of those interviews, you can always go back and catch the Sports Cage podcast, Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Tomorrow night we'll kick off Week 8 in the NFL. The 3-3 Minnesota Vikings are going to take on the 4-3 Los Angeles Chargers. But Sunday, the game of the week, if you ask me, is in the early window, that 11 a.m. window, where the Miami Dolphins will take on the Atlanta Falcons. And it's not because they're great football teams. It's because of what's going to come out after the football game content-wise. As we know, since the start of the year, the Dolphins have been a dumpster fire. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And this week, get a load of this. This is Mike McDaniel's new strategy of how to win football games. Now, keep in mind, this is an NFL coach getting paid millions and millions of dollars. This is how he's going to attack the Atlanta Falcons this week when they hit the field.
Barring injury. Yeah, he's going to take the snaps this week, and he's going to be our starter this week. And my expectation is that we don't throw 10 picks.
There you have it. Colson, has anybody ever broken down the game of football in a more easy to understand manner than what Mike McDaniel just said? We're not going to throw 10 picks this week against the Atlanta Falcons. Is he wrong? I think that's genius material.
Genius might not be the word I would go for, but I mean that's definitely a goal of your offense, is to not turn the ball over 10 times. So he's got that part right.
I wonder if out there, and I don't know if Sports Select, if this is the sprinkle of the day, if they're going to have a stat line on this, we'll check and see. Maybe they're already all over it. In that Miami-Atlanta game, if there's going to be an over-under on 10 interceptions being thrown by Tua Tagovailoa, who will be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins. Could you imagine everyone's like, there's no way, and everybody takes the under, and he threw the 11th, and everybody loses? Like sports betting crashes because Tua threw an 11th pick on Sunday?
I don't think he'd still be in the game at 10 interceptions. Like, if that wasn't over-under, you would...
You never know. Well, if Mike McDaniel's going out, if you're going out, you might as well go in a blaze of glory, right? So yesterday, Teddy Bruschi on one of the NFL shows, I think it was on ESPN, he kind of unloaded on McDaniel, Tua, the Dolphins, and just how dysfunctional that locker room is and how he wouldn't have been able to handle this as a player.
This coach, this tuning out a coach. When owners hire head coaches, okay, this is what I want you to think about. That's the voice, and that's the picture, and that's the man that your players will be seeing every single day. At 8 in the morning, all the way to 6 when they leave. He speaks to them in front of them, at practice, in the meetings, all the time. You want that in front of your players? Look at that picture. Is that the one that you want leading your franchise, okay? That's what you got to think about, because that kind of picture, I'll just be honest with you, I don't see it with Mike McDaniel. Okay, if I had to see that man in front of me with some of the things that I've seen him say, and I've watched a lot of his press conferences, and I've watched a lot of him from the Hard Knocks a few years ago, I don't know how I'd be able to play in that locker room, to be honest with you. The man that I want leading me that's going to take you to championships is someone that's the exact opposite of that man in Miami.
Hey, Teddy. Listen, don't be shy. Don't hold back. All right. Teddy, I need you to be honest. I need you to open up a little bit there. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No, he isn't. And I went searching and I don't see a prop for interceptions yet. I think the props come out closer to game day.
Sure.
So we'll keep an eye on that one. But Miami.
Now that we're into week 8, you're really getting a chance to see who the real teams are, and who the pretenders are. Chicago at Baltimore, there's a chance that Lamar Jackson could be back this weekend. That hamstring could be healed up. Bears fans are getting a little too full of themselves. Bears fans, just remember, your team sucks. You never come through. You never win when it matters. Buffalo needs to get back on the winning track. They're at Carolina to take on the Panthers. Let's see. Jets, I'm cheering for the Jets because I want them to be 0-8, because I'm cheering for them. If they could go 0-17 this year under Aaron Glenn, that'd be fantastic. They take on the Bengals. This Joe Flacco Bengal offense. Niners and Texans.
That's one thing that Dolphins fans can take solace in. They're not the Jets.
Yeah, it's funny, same division, just how garbage. But it's good. If you're a New England Patriots fan, you'll love this because you're taking on the Cleveland Browns on Sunday, and with a win, you would be 6-2 and sitting at the top of that division. Close to a playoff spot as we get into it. Giants at Eagles, then Sunday late games, Tampa at New Orleans. Tampa's got to win. Dallas at Denver. If the Cowboys can win that, the Cowboys are for real. Tennessee at Indy. Indianapolis is good. And then Sunday Night Football, this is a crazy stat. Even with Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, the Green Bay Packers, I guess they haven't won in Pittsburgh against the Steelers since 1970. Can they break the streak? We'll find out. All right, time to take a break. When we come back, we'll kick off hour number 3. We're going to talk to Ken King, who's a contributor for Jays Journal. He's all over the Jays and the Dodgers for the World Series with Game 1 on Friday. Stand by. This is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The postal strike has thrown a monkey wrench into the world-famous Keniston Superdraft. If you're waiting for your forms and they don't show up, head over to superdraft.com and print them off today. There's still $90,000 in total cash prizes to be won in the world-famous draft. Don't miss out. And yes, the Super 8 is back. Don't wait for the mail. Hit up superdraft.com. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Superdraft. Deadline is October 28th, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Hey, farmers and ranchers, do you want the next generation to know and care more about agriculture? Donate to the Acres for Education campaign by Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan to help get students out of the classroom to experience agriculture. This year, every dollar donated will be matched up to $25,000 thanks to JGL, so your gift will make twice the difference. Donate at aitc.sk.ca/Acres for Education.
Whoa, what's that?
Oh, that's just my telephone. Are you maybe not as up to date as you could be?
Hello? Oh, hello, Elsie.
Head to Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, and check out their selection of top-of-the-line smartphones.
Here you go, Grandma.
Oh, isn't this lovely? Whoa.
Visit Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today. Check out their new renovations and say hi to the gang.
Hello?
When's the best time to buy a new Volkswagen? Right about now. The Volksfest sales event is here. Finance all 2025 Volkswagen models from just 0% for up to 24 months. Or lease the fully electric ID Buzz for 0% for up to 48 months. Plus, get up to $1,000 Volksfest bonus cash on select Volkswagen models. Only until October 31st. See your local VW dealer today. Conditions apply. Volkswagen.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
The Carmichael Comedy Night returns Thursday, November 6th at the Casino Regina Show Lounge. Enjoy top-notch comedy while supporting Carmichael Outreach in their mission to fight poverty and homelessness. Details at carmichaeloutreach.ca. Brad Paisley makes a stop in Saskatchewan with his Truck Still Works World Tour, Saturday, November 15th at SaskTel Center in Saskatoon. Grab your tickets at ticketmaster.ca. And 620 CKRM is proud to support Agriculture in the Classroom's Acres for Education. Money raised through the campaign helps students and teachers experience agriculture firsthand through field trips to farms and ag events. Every dollar donated this year will be matched by JGL up to $25,000. Visit aitc.sk.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. We are 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. Premier Scott Moe says his province plans to introduce a bill this year that would require those with addictions to receive treatment against their will. Moe made the comments ahead of the throne speech, saying it's part of his government's plan to help people with addictions.
I've said the goal is to eradicate crystal meth and fentanyl and opioids from our communities. That is the goal, and it might be an aspirational goal, but it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be the goal.
Moe says forced treatment would only apply to those facing arrest, adding more details would be shared later. But the opposition NDP says the province is out of ideas following the release of the throne speech. NDP leader Carla Beck says Premier Scott Moe's Saskatchewan Party government needs to do more on improving health care and affordability in the province.
This throne speech definitely does not deliver. Definitely does not scream big, bold change. What it screams after 18 years is a government willing to stubbornly defend the status quo, stubbornly unwilling to listen to those who are screaming, demanding change.
Moe says the government is working to hire more healthcare workers. Tomorrow, 21 ag innovators will promote their projects to a group of investors as part of a summit put on by Startup TNT. Community Development Lead with Startup TNT, Jesse Wiebe, says the Investor Summit is on twice a year, in the spring and the fall.
Each time we run it, we have multiple streams of the program. So there are regional focus streams where the companies can come from any sector, but they have to come from that region. So like Alberta or Saskatchewan, for example, any sort of general startup from those regions will apply to those programs. But then we have an agri-food program and a life sciences program, and I help run the agri-food program.
Each of the investors has committed $5,000, and one innovator will ultimately be chosen to receive the pot of investment money. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is criticizing sky-high resale prices for tickets to the Blue Jays World Series games in Toronto. In 2019, Ford's government scrapped a part of a law that would have capped ticket resale prices at 50% above the original face value. That law was passed by the previous Liberal government. Both the Liberals and the NDP have called on Ford's progressive Conservative government to bring back the cap. And Prime Minister Mark Carney is scheduled to give a speech tonight on tough choices his government faces in its first budget. Carney has indicated the budget will include spending restraint measures and new money for major initiatives. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says he is not ready to reject the budget just yet.
So I'm going to sit down with him today, and if he takes my suggestions of bringing down the deficit to the level the Liberal government promised, of getting rid of the hidden taxes on food, well, then let's have a look at it.
A vote in the House of Commons on a budget motion is a confidence matter, meaning the Carney government could fall if it loses, triggering a general election. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Weather is next.
This fall, there's something strange in your kid's backpack.
No signal.
Back in my day, we busted ghosts. Now we bust bad cell plans. That's why I go to Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. They've got the latest phones, data plans, internet, and max TV stream, and way less slime. Your phone just tried to FaceTime a ghost? Who are you going to call? Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast is brought to you by Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and on all socials. And for Line-X Regina, serious protection, killer looks at 1865 McCarra Street. Now, your Precision Weather Forecast.
Very quiet and rather warm conditions will continue over the next couple of days. Normal highs this time of year, upper single digits. We're in fact, upper teens a couple of days coming up, at least mid-teens on the cooler days. Today, one of the cooler days, too. We drop off to -1 overnight tonight, though, with a clear sky. There will be some patchy frost. What keeps us from dropping off too much in this case is the wind is going to pick up. More of a south to southeasterly wind, 15 to 30 kilometers per hour. Not only tonight, but for the next few days, we'll be dealing with that wind. It's not a strong wind, and it's not going to do much for the wind chill factor at night, a very slight impact, but overall just sunny and breezy conditions through the days. 14 is our mild high on Thursday. We hold at freezing Thursday night, 0. Patchy frost still possible. Sunshine, 16 on Friday, up to 19 on Saturday, the warmest day. Clouds mixed with the sunshine on Sunday. Temperatures begin to back down. Still 14, though, Sunday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
For 40 years, the team from Line-X Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line-X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Regina Motor Products early tire swap offer on now. Book before October 31st to save $10 on an on-rim and $20 on an off-rim tire changeover. Visit Regina Motor Products today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hey, how are you? Final hour of the show on this Wednesday afternoon. It's Maz, and we've talked a lot of football today. The nominees are out for the Player Awards in the Canadian Football League. Trevor Harris most outstanding player for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. That is unanimous. Most outstanding defender is Jameer Thurman. And outstanding Canadian is A.J. Allen. He's had a heck of a season. Don't forget, Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50-50. This week, it's an all-inclusive week in Cabo. Flights from Sask to Cabo San Lucas and 7 nights at the 5-star Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. Or, now it depends, like last week when it was snowing and raining, you would have taken those 2 tickets to Cabo in a second. Hey, sunny, 13, 14. You can take $7,200 cash. Your call. But a 5-star in Cabo, it's very nice. And Cabo's not as long of a flight as it is to Cancun. I think it's a little shorter, maybe about an hour, 45 minutes-ish. And it can be, at times, direct. Anyways, get your tickets. Riders5050.ca. Deadline is tomorrow at 5. And as we get ready for the Lions and Riders, Saturday at Mosaic to wrap up the season, sound like there's going to be some starters playing. And this is going to be good. Most outstanding player nominee from the BC Lions, Nathan Rourke, will be in town. Charleston Hughes thinks that they set this on a platter and it's his award to win this year. We'll see. We'll see. We had a chance to chat with Trevor Harris in hour number 2. If you missed any of that conversation, you can go back and listen to the podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcast. It's time to talk a little baseball. The World Series will kick off on Friday night, and I think a lot of us maybe back in late March and early April only dreamed about the Jays being in the World Series, but it is here. Game 1, Friday night, Dodgers-Jays, with a 6 o'clock first pitch. And to talk all about them Jays this year, he's a contributor to Jays Journal. It's Ken King joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Ken, it's probably got to be a pretty good time to be a writer for Jays Journal. I don't know if this has worked out, but this couldn't be better, right? Is this a dream for you?
Yeah. Not only is it a dream that's been going on since I started writing with Jays Journal, it's a dream that's been going on since I was about 6. So it's been pretty fun.
One of the things we asked, because we have some younger people on the show that weren't alive in 92, 93, the last time the Jays won the series. I was alive. So where do you fit in all of this? Were you not around, or you were just a young guy, but now you want your own memories with the Jays winning the World Series?
I was definitely around, probably not quite, not following the stats the same way that I am now. And I grew up in Ontario. So even though I'm in Calgary now, I go to a game every year, at least one. Sat behind home plate the last couple times I've been, because when you only go once a year, you can spend a little bit more on a ticket. And being able to write about them and being able to watch them up close this year has been pretty cool. I was there on Canada Day, watched them come back against the Yankees then. And it's definitely a lifelong thing that I've been waiting to see happen, but the lifelong thing still hasn't happened yet.
No, I've been joking for the past couple of weeks. No one has mentioned the Toronto Blue Jays front office in about 4 months. Because remember, all you would hear, right? The Jays front office, now silence. They're heroes right now. With the roster that they put together and everything has clicked. Those guys. Do you give those guys credit? Because there are a lot of players on this year's roster. They're on last year's roster. Just this year, everybody seems to be having a career year.
Yeah, I do give them credit. I actually wrote a piece back in, I think it was the beginning of May. The title was something along the lines of, we just might owe Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins an apology, because when you started to see some of the guys that people were complaining about come in, and the way that they were playing Miles Straw, Jimenez, guys that even Heineman, who's getting absolutely no attention right now because the backup catcher doesn't usually play in the playoffs. There are guys on the team that people were criticizing the addition of heavily as the season started and throughout the season, and they looked pretty good. in the spring, and they put it together at the right time. And then you got guys that are putting it together now in the playoffs that maybe we wondered if they were worth $500 million, or maybe we wondered if 35 is too old. But I think the key piece here is not just the front office; it's David Popkins, the new hitting coach.
Oh, okay. So now Ken King is joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. He's a contributor for Jays Journal. A lot of us are casual Jays fans that have now really started paying attention. So go back to that. This hitting coach, where did he come from? When did this happen? Because for a lot of us, we're trying to fill in the pieces and pretend like we've been there all along. But I got to tell you, it wasn't probably around till that Canada Day series against the Yankees where I was like, oh, it's July and we're not out of it? Okay, I may start paying attention here.
Yeah, it's so again, I wrote a piece early in the season, probably March actually. I think it was actually before the opening day, and just talking about the fact that the move to a new hitting coach this year is significant for the Jays. They had the previous one for quite a while. If you watch baseball enough, you notice the change in approach right away. And one of the biggest reasons why I felt that the Popkins hire was going to be significant wasn't just because he came from a place in Minnesota where he actually got fired, which they probably don't feel great about now. But he came from a place that has had some pretty good hitters and that he has helped make good hitters. It was also because he's not that you have to be young to apply analytics, but he's a younger guy who applies analytics in a healthy way. Sometimes people can be a little ham-fisted with application of analytics, where you're just only looking at the law of averages and how good this guy is against everybody who's left-handed on a day where the sun's shining at this angle. And you forget to actually coach the game and coach the people. And he's somebody who coaches the people and gives them a lot of freedom to make decisions at the plate on their own. And he definitely uses the analytics, but once they're walking up to the plate, he's essentially teaching them to trust themselves and just go with their gut and go with what got them there in the first place, which obviously now it's easy to say is the right move.
Okay, so if there was a new hitting coach come in, so we see a lot of guys doing well, but you obviously watch the game a little differently. To you, who are the one and two guys that he's made the most improvements with from where they were to where they are now?
That's a tough question. I think the obvious one is George Springer. George Springer, for people who haven't been watching for the last couple of years, there was people that were saying that maybe he shouldn't be playing every day this year. He's still a great hitter, but he was hurt a lot. He was still playing in the outfield previously, whereas this year he DHs a lot more and doesn't have to play the field, so he's been healthier. But he wasn't quite performing at the same level, and that's a big deal because literally he has a big deal. They've spent a lot of money on him over a long time. And he's obviously at age 35, which I want to say for everybody who's been calling him super old all year, that's offensive to those of us that are 35 and older. He's still managing to put together wicked at-bats. He's still managing when he's hurt and can barely swing the bat without falling down the day prior to hit game-winning and series-winning and conference-winning home runs. And when that happens, that's not just because George figured it out all on his own. That's definitely coming from a change in approach. And George has quotes. He's multiple times credited Popkins and the new approach this year. The second guy is also maybe not a hot take, but it's Ernie Clement. Ernie Clement's a guy who has bounced around the league. He's been on multiple teams. He's never really played every day. He kind of ended up playing every day this year when nobody thought he should either, for the most part. And he's been their most consistent hitter across the season in terms of being able to deliver. He doesn't have the really big moments like some of the other guys do, but he's consistent. And I'll plug Nathan Lucas here, who's, if people haven't looked at him yet, he's a great story. He's 31. He spent 95% of his time in the league since college in the minor leagues. He's lamented about times he talked to his family about wanting to maybe consider hanging it up. And now here he is playing every day, hitting second and contributing on a World Series team.
Well, I think the one thing about Springer, and after that home run, will never, ever have to buy a drink or a dinner in Toronto ever again. I think he's right. And that could probably translate all across Canada if he ever decides to go on a Canadian tour with the family in a minivan, wherever he stops. Someone will be like, no, sir, that one's on us. So it's been a great story up until now. But come Friday, it's the LA Dodgers. And I was curious back in August when the Jays went to LA to be like, okay, so how do we stack up against a really good Dodger team with, to me, the best player in baseball, Shohei Ohtani? I don't even know if that's up for debate after last week and what we saw him do between the pitching and the home runs and all of that. The Dodgers won 2 of 3. The first 2, they looked dominant. In that third win, the Jays came back and played scrappy like the Jays do. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, I wonder if all worked out, the World Series. With the Dodgers, besides Ohtani, what else, if you're a Jays fan, be like, okay, there's a couple of caution points here because many are on the bandwagon and haven't really seen baseball reality. What else makes this Dodger team so good?
Yeah, you laid that out perfectly. The Dodgers are a pretty big juggernaut. There's a reason why they just won it, and there's a reason why they were the favorites to win it this whole year again, even though, frankly, they didn't really have an unbelievable season. They had some injuries. They had some guys that were in and out of the lineup. Their pitching is stellar. Their fourth best pitcher is, if he had pitched the whole year, would probably be a candidate for the Cy Young, and everybody above him the same thing. The Jays are going to be in tough with their pitching. They're really going to have to be disciplined at the plate. The good news is that they don't have a lot of guys that pitch for strikeouts, but that could work in the Jays' favor or against the Jays, because as you play to contact against pitchers who want you to make contact, that contact oftentimes goes where the pitchers want it to go, on the ground and in the air, but in the ballpark. They don't give up a lot of home runs, their pitchers. So the long ball might not be the same kind of option, particularly playing at Rogers Center, which is tough to hit home runs out even for the guys that play there every day. So the pitching is an absolute juggernaut that the Jays are going to have to be at their best they've been all year in order to compete against that. And nobody's ever said this would be easy. And then the bats are Shohei Ohtani. Not only is he the best player in the MLB right now, I think he might have cemented the case of the best player to ever play the game already, and he's probably going to play it for another 10 years. We talk about a guy that in the playoffs put up 10 strikeouts in 6 innings and hit 3 home runs in the same game. That's just unheard of. Not only just unheard of in the last decade, but unheard of in the history of the game. So they will have to be at their best. But the silver lining here is that there are holes in the Dodgers lineup. There are bats that are actually not very good, and they don't match up well against the Blue Jays pitchers either. The Jays are going to have to keep the ball in the ballpark, though. And Teoscar Hernandez, who's a Blue Jay favorite, I think.
Exactly.
We all miss him.
He just hits timely home runs, it seems, and he makes it look easy. That thing is, and he makes it look so easy. And then he's got a great swing and a nice trot, and he is, to me, like, he's a wild card. And although Mookie Betts is hitting 289, 6 RBI, but he's still Mookie Betts. He's still an incredibly good baseball player that a lot of people are like, I don't know, man. He's ice cold. I'm like, sometimes, you know this, sometimes all it takes is one good at bat, and all of a sudden, no more ice. And these guys, they're on fire.
Yep. And I think there's a lot. I think that it's very polar right now in the conversation about Toronto. Well, people are either talking about like, oh my God, they're going to win it all, and there's no way they can possibly lose, or people are saying like, yeah, well, now it's the Dodgers and it's over. And the truth definitely sits somewhere in the middle. Bo Bichette's probably coming back. I don't believe the official announcement's been made yet, but it does sound like he's at least going to be able to bat, though that does make some tough decisions because it means Springer can't DH, which comes to my earlier point about the fact that he'll have to play the field, and he's already pretty banged up. But either way, it's exciting. I would imagine in Regina, next to the fact that you're going to be able to tailgate soon in Saskatchewan, this is probably one of the most exciting things happening right now.
Well, if there was 8 million people watching on Monday night in that clinching game, can you imagine in game 1 here what that audience might be? So game 1, Friday night in Toronto, game 2 on Saturday, travel day on Sunday. It's games 3, 4, and 5. I like the way how they do it in baseball, the 2-3-2. I wish hockey would do that, where you're going to get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. at Chavez Ravine. We do know that Blake Snell's going to start game 1, and then Yoshinobu Yamamoto will pitch in game 2. Have the Jays come out with who the game 1 starter is going to be yet?
I don't think they've announced it yet, but the most recent possible lineup that I saw was actually starting with Yasavage, having him go up against Snell right off the bat, following him with Gossman and then Bieber and then Scherzer and then going back to Yasavage. So it's, you want to, and I actually agree with that. I agree with that take. I think first game, you don't want him to watch them hit you around in game 1 and 2 and then have to pitch in game 3. As a young guy who's got some pretty good composure, you want him to come in and feel like there's absolutely no way these guys can hit me, and see what he can do right off the bat in game 1, and then be able to learn from any mistakes he makes and hopefully pitch again in game 5 or 6.
Ken King, contributor to Jays Journal. We got about 60 seconds left. I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios. The LA Dodgers win the World Series because, let's fill in the blank, and then we'll do the same for the Jays.
Because their pitchers just absolutely dominate the Blue Jays.
All right. And the Toronto Blue Jays win the World Series if, and we fill in the blank.
If the tailgating law in Saskatchewan actually passes, and the bats at the top of the Blue Jays lineup can clean up the runners that are definitely going to be on base, if they hit with runners in scoring position, the Blue Jays can definitely win the World Series.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, but in Saskatchewan, sometimes you don't need something to be legal for it to be happening or not happening. So tailgating may be happening. All right. And final question, because to me, it is. Is Moneyball with Brad Pitt the best baseball movie ever made?
Is it the best baseball movie? I think I would make the argument that it might be one of the best sports movies ever. I'd put it right there with The Longest Yard. I'd put it right there with Remember the Titans, with Hoosiers, with some of the other top ones. I think I've probably seen it 70 times.
Me too. Anytime it comes on now, I never not watch. I love the David Justice talk in the batting cage. And I don't want to misquote this, and maybe you feel the way. It's, what is it? It's hard not to get romantic about baseball?
Yep. It's hard not to get romantic about baseball. Watch some of those videos of George Springer hitting it to the Titanic theme song.
Nice. That'll make us tear up on Instagram. All right, Ken King, contributor, Jays Journal, thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it. Go Jays. And if people want to follow you on the socials, what's a handle that someone can start reading what you're doing?
I think I don't use them a ton, but I'm just Ken King on X and Threads.
All right. Threads. Man, I haven't heard that in a while. Mark Zuckerberg. Sometimes, every once in a while, you don't have a great idea. Anyways, Ken, have a great night. Go Jays. We appreciate it. Time to take a break here on the Sports Cage. And when we come back, we're going to hear from Most Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year nominee, Jameer Thurman from the Saskatchewan Roughriders. She's just one of the 6 nominees today that got the nod. Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him. We'll do that next. This is the Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. One full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
The postal strike has thrown a monkey wrench into the world-famous Keniston Superdraft. If you're waiting for your forms and they don't show up, head over to superdraft.com and print them off today. There's still $90,000 in total cash prizes to be won in the world-famous draft. Don't miss out. And yes, the Super 8 is back. Don't wait for the mail. Hit up superdraft.com. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Superdraft. Deadline is October 28th, 8 p.m. Central Time.
All the farmland and equipment you could need are available at auction this fall with Ritchie Brothers. A wide variety of farmland auctions across Western Canada will begin in earnest in October and run into December to get you ready for the next season. With new parcels of land and equipment continually added to their inventory, make sure to visit their website so you never miss an opportunity. Head over to rbauction.com to get started. Again, that's rbauction.com.
You've worked hard for years, but when you retire, do you know your options that truly fit you and your family? That's where Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Aviso Wealth come in. They help you understand your choices, avoid costly mistakes, and build a retirement plan. Independent advice, local expertise. Before you make the next move, talk to Chad Reach, 306-584-2755.
Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Meet Todd. It's noon. He's really hungry, and his stomach makes sure to let him know it.
Todd, we talked about this. No more skipping meals. I need cheese. I need crust. I need Western Pizza.
All right. Western Pizza it is.
Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today, before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and early bird prizes. All proceeds support amateur football in Saskatchewan, equipping the heartland, and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Riders 50/50 is presented by ISC.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
They host the Lethbridge Hurricanes tonight at the Brand Center. Face-off goes at 7 o'clock, which means Regina Pats hockey is right here on 620 CKRM, starting with the pregame show at 6:30. Another action, the Red Deer Rebels in Swift Current to take on the Broncos. Prairie Junior Hockey League, the all-Saskatoon battle, Quakers versus Wesleys. Saskatchewan AAA, you've got the Maulers in Notre Dame to take on the Hounds. Saskatchewan Female AAA, the Swift Current Wildcats here in Regina to take on the Rebels. WHL Cup today, Saskatchewan's taking on BC. NHL tonight, 3 games, including the Montreal Canadiens in Calgary to take on the Flames. That's a 6:30 face-off. And tipping off here in just a couple of minutes, the Toronto Raptors taking on the Atlanta Hawks. The nominations were handed out today for the Player Awards in the CFL. For the Saskatchewan Roughriders, it was unanimous. Most outstanding player went to Trevor Harris. Most outstanding player on the defensive side of the ball went to second-year rider Jameer Thurman. And Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with Jameer after practice today.
Jameer Thurman is the Saskatchewan Roughriders' most outstanding defensive player nominee. And Jameer, if you look at your X account, one might suggest that you think that A.J. Allen should be sitting where you are. Is that right?
Well, I thought, A.J. had a tremendous season, and then, playing next to him, we were going back and forth for him making plays. I felt like it could have went to either one of us. What I meant with the tweet was there was multiple weeks, really months of them putting out lists of most outstanding Canadians, and he was never on any of them. So I just felt that, the respect wasn't there, and I needed to voice my opinion for my guy.
So kidding aside, what does the defensive outstanding player nominee mean to you?
It means a lot. We got a lot of great guys on our defense. I mean, I feel like it was a lot of guys that could have won it. We had Rowe last year that won it, should have won MOP. But it's a lot of plays to be made, and a lot of guys have made those. I'm just fortunate enough, to have won it this year.
You've had great seasons before where you haven't received this nomination. What does this mean?
It does feel good. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel good, But at the end of the day, I pride myself on, just doing my job. The plays are going to come. I make the plays that come my way. It's some games when I don't really get a lot of action, but, I think that is more of a respect thing than anything. So, the plays, that come my way, I make, and, I'm just glad that I'm able to finally get one,
You had a great year in green and white in your first season last year here in Riderville. Has anything changed year over year or distinguished itself between this year and last year?
I mean, last year it was rough, playing with a torn bicep most of the year. But no, this year, I just want to continue to grow, with the guys that we had on our team, and as a defense, second year in the system with Mason and everything. I just wanted to, take that next step. I thought I did a pretty good job. There were some plays that still could have made, but I think we did a pretty good job of setting a standard defensively as a defense. And, the plays that came our way, we made. And, that's why we're number one defense in the league.
There's a young linebacker group that is in that linebacker room that looks up to you, and I know that they revere the things that you are doing on and off the field. Tell me what it is like to lead that group.
Yeah, I take it upon myself. I try to help guys as much as I can, as far as understanding the game, letting them know where I'm going to be at when there's times where they can, take a chance on a play that possibly is going to be there, and I'll cover for them. I'm just always trying to look out for guys and have them make the plays that they can make, and when it comes my way, I'm trying to do the same thing. But having that, communication across the board of understanding, all right, this is what they're trying to do here. When you see this, let's you go take this, and then I'll cover you. It just gives guys that confidence that, all right, I got an opportunity here to make a big play and change the momentum of this game. And when I have those guys out there, when they have that out there and they go and make those plays, I'm excited just as much for them as, they are for themselves. So,
back inside that room, one such player is young Nick Wiebe, who's being nominated for his special teams work this season. What have you seen from him and the group as a whole?
The linebackers have been making some plays this year, I will say that, between me, AJ, and Nick. And Nick has been battling, even last year, not playing as much as he would have liked. And then this year, having that bounce back, and being the ace on teams for us, he fought. He works hard. He's in here earliest every single day, and he's one of the last to leave. He does everything the right way, and he takes care of his body. So I think Nick is taking a tremendous step, and this is just only the beginning for him.
I guess lastly, Jameer Thurman, what does it mean to you at this point in your career to get the nomination for Defensive Player of the Year with the Saskatchewan Roughriders?
I mean, at the end of the day, I play for championships. This award, it means a lot. I don't want to discredit it at all. It really means a lot. I put a lot of work in over the years. I played with a lot of great linebackers next to me, and they've helped me shape me into the player that I am today. So this means a lot to me. But at the end of the day, it's more. This is a team game, and the guys around me. A lot of the plays I wouldn't have been able to make without the people out there on the field with me. So I just appreciate the honor, and just decided to go out there and continue playing with the guys.
All right, Jameer Thurman, most outstanding defensive player of the year nominee. So, Colson, I wasn't crazy. I didn't see his tweet on X. I said in hour one of the show that, to me, A.J. Allen could be, he's the most outstanding Canadian, but he could be, in my mind, the defensive player of the year, only for the fact that he didn't start and play all season. But if he had, he could have. And obviously, Jameer feels the same way. So, and I had no idea he even said that. And that's no slight. But Jameer Thurman's Jameer Thurman. I don't care. Even Jameer Thurman, look at last year. I didn't know he played with a torn pec the whole year. He was still one of the best players on defense. He could always be up for this award no matter what year, what team in the CFL in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Easy. I'm just trying to look. When did AJ start playing this year? Because he was thrust in like week 1, wasn't he? Or was it just more packages? I don't remember.
Starter-wise, wasn't it when was it when CJ Avery went down, Aubrey Miller? If somebody got hurt,
yeah,
and then he had to come in at linebacker Canadian. So I can't remember.
Yeah,
week 1 of the CFL season seems about 8 years ago. So it seems like forever ago.
Not wrong. The point I was trying to get to is I saw somewhere like he's been in like, what was it? He's got 84 defensive tackles, but he's been in like 90, 95, 96 defensive plays or whatever, right? So that's fumbles, interceptions, etc. That's all of the things that you contribute on defense, right? And the league leaders like Beverett and Montreal and them, right? they're just in like the 100s, 110s. So like he is right behind them in his first year fully playing defense. Like, yeah, absolutely that gets you some nominations. So 100% AJ's just been playing out of his mind. And Jameer, I think he called himself Pops there. I wasn't 100% sure, but he was saying like, yeah, let the young players go make their plays and Pops has your back. I think he said. I'm not going to keep calling him that because I don't want to get in trouble with Jameer Thurman. But just having that guy who's holding the defense together, 100% deserves nomination.
I think the only person he didn't thank for him being at the spot he is in his career is Charleston Hughes, who Charleston has said, but when he was a young pup in Calgary, mentored him. I mean, really, it was all the mentorship passed on down. But even Charleston said he's the guy on that defense. He's the guy. It all flows through him. Whether they're up or whether they're down, he is that guy. And once again, I was so happy 2 years ago when we signed him, and I hope he never, ever is not a Saskatchewan Roughrider because he is way better. He mentions in the interview Nick Wiebe, special teams ace for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he was nominated most outstanding special teams player, and Dave Thomas had a chance to catch up with him.
Nick Wiebe nominated as the Saskatchewan Roughriders Special Teams Player of the Year. What does that mean to you, Nick?
I think it speaks to the resiliency, the support of the locker room as well. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about it before. I don't think I'd be here without the support of my family, and obviously the guys in the locker room, Dalkey and AJ, who was in here earlier, obviously, and then Benoit, guys like that. I mean, just kind of showing me exactly how to play special teams and how to be successful in special teams in this league. So I think it speaks a lot to the bond in the locker room, and as well as I guess resilience in a way. But it sure helps when you get guys like that in the locker room.
You're following the path of the outstanding Canadian nominee, A.J. Allen. What does that mean? Again, starting in special teams, cutting your teeth, and then trying to find your way onto the starting defense.
It's awesome. And just to be even kind of close to a guy like that, just to see the work that he puts in, and it's no secret why he's where he is. I mean, the guy grinds every day. He's calling out rail combinations before they even happen on film. So it's easy to see why a guy like that gets to where he is, and it's kind of cool to see the path that I'm hoping to take in the coming years as well. So just being around that's been really special for sure.
If you look back year over year from where you were at this time last year, having been shut down with that knee banged up again, did you ever think that you'd be in this spot?
I think you hope for it for sure. I think coming into the organization in the situation that I did, I was really just looking for any way to help the team last year. Any way to kind of contribute to a winning culture here, and then hopefully a prolonged one as well. But obviously you want to have success. You plan to have success. You prepare to have success. But I think it really just is about creating winning culture and doing whatever you can to sustain that as well.
So what was the initial reaction that you had when hearing the news?
Almost disbelief in a way, I guess. We have just so many good players on special, like Brett and Jess, who just came in, who played a heck of a game last game at punter. And then obviously Jorgen, I think, is kind of an unsung hero of the special teams unit as well. He's been here we call him Unk in the locker room. The guy's been here for like 10 years, I swear. So for him to kind of hold it down in that position as well, just to have the special teams guys and the caliber of special teams guys we have in that locker room, to be recognized as one of the better ones, I think is a huge honor. So I think there's a part of me that was in disbelief for sure, but all gratitude now and just happy to be playing with the guys in there.
Now, aside from getting your jersey handed to you at the Dog's Breakfast in Saskatoon, Nick, you haven't been handed anything from your time in Oregon to the U of S Huskies to here in the Canadian Football League. Is this award nomination a bit of a pinch-me moment?
I think there's a sentiment of that for sure. I talked to my mom about it. I think she feels it more than I do. My parents do, just because I think from the outside looking in, it might look that way, but I think I had a lot of help along the way as well. I think there's guys everywhere in that locker room, my family, everybody you could really point to as a reason that I'm here. So I think there is a certain extent a pinch-me moment, just because it has been a long road to get here. But I think when you're the one kind of in it and putting in the work, I think you recognize the help that you had more so than you might if you were just outside looking in, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think it's obviously surreal, super cool to win an award in a league like this. But at the same time, I think this award could have gone to a lot of guys. So for sure.
You are surrounded by leaders. Of course, you had a leadership role at the University of Saskatchewan, but you come into the Saskatchewan Roughrider locker room, and you need not look any further than the other nominees. And there's a bunch of players that lead by example, including Jameer Thurman, who you get to work with each and every day. What does that leadership mean to you?
It's meant everything. I think guys like being in the same room as Thurm and on its own has been a massive blessing for me. Even having guys like Jordan and Justin Herdman-Reed last year as well, just guys who have really been around the league and have kind of made a name for themselves around the league, just being able to learn from those guys. And I make the joke all the time that I just follow Thurm around with a notepad and just see what he does, because he kind of has been the consummate professional in the league. So I'm just really trying to take all of the information that I get from him and Trev and Yosh and guys like that and hopefully apply it in my own way and in a way that I can help this team win and help this team forward, obviously, to the ultimate goal.
And lastly, Nick, any feedback from your parents on the nomination?
I'm sure my dad will tell me I could have had 5 more tackles this year, so I'll talk to him later. But I talked to my mom briefly about it. She's super proud, obviously, and just kind of the family group chat's been going a little crazy this morning, which has been cool to see for sure. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to talk to them as much yet, but I'm sure I'll get on the phone with them right after this.
SaskPower is working to improve the power system in your area. In order to do their work safely, they need to shut the power off for customers in Sun Valley at Buffalo Pound Lake, all areas east of 6th Street from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Thursday, October 23rd, weather permitting. Again, the power will be out for 6 hours on Thursday, October 23rd from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for customers in Sun Valley. For updates on this outage, visit saskpower.com/outages.
The postal strike has thrown a monkey wrench into the world-famous Keniston Superdraft. If you're waiting for your forms and they don't show up, head over to superdraft.com and print them off today. There's still $90,000 in total cash prizes to be won in the world-famous draft. Don't miss out. And yes, the Super 8 is back. Don't wait for the mail. Hit up superdraft.com. Find some buddies and get in on some real NHL pool action with the Keniston Superdraft. Deadline is October 28th, 8 p.m. Central Time.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. Don't just hang a door, install a Steelcraft. Turn curb appeal into curb envy.
Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door, Steelcraft door. We offer more.
Steel-craft.ca.
Saskatchewan winters don't mess around. Neither should you. He thinks his all seasons can handle it until his car slides past the driveway and into his neighbor's snowman. Yeah, don't be that guy. Head to your locally owned Integra Tire dealer. Get your winter tires and changeover done before the snow takes you for a ride, because winter always wins, unless your tires do first. Trust your locally owned Integra Tire dealers. Karst Holdings Assiniboia and Schlamps Tire Grenfell. Truly local.
Have you ever tried convincing a 1,000-pound animal to walk half a mile for a drink? Yeah, good luck with that. Cows aren't moving, and frankly, they don't care about your schedule. So instead of turning your pasture into a full-blown cattle negotiation summit, install a Keln Solar livestock watering system. You can drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows chill. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
Capital GMC just made a major move. A huge shipment of certified pre-owned 2025 GMC all-wheel drive Terrains has just landed. Sleek, powerful, and priced to move. Starting at just $35,997 on Unit 2559A. If you've been waiting to upgrade your drive, now's the time to get behind the wheel of a low-mileage 2025 Terrain that feels brand new for way less than you'd expect. Plus 150-plus point inspection and roadside assistance. Capital GMC is the GM certified pre-owned vehicle destination at the corner of Rochdale and Pasqua in Regina.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Don't have a lot of time left in today's show. SaskTel, pick the score if you want to get in. 936-6262. First name, last name, and who do you think is going to win this weekend? Riders, Lions. Last week I went 4-0. This week I'm going to go Hamilton, Calgary, Montreal, and I think BC beats Saskatchewan 31-23. There's going to be starters playing, but unless it's all in full game like for BC, who's trying to go for a home playoff game, I'm like, it could be 12-6 when all is said and done for your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Hey, thanks for being part of the show today. If you've missed any of it, we had Charleston Hughes on in hour 1, Eric Francis in hour number 2, and Ken King, contributor for Jays Journal, talking all things Jays. You can get that on the Sportscage podcast, Apple, Amazon, or Spotify here in just a little bit after the show is done. We'll wrap things today with the Junior Football Report and Dave Thomas.
This is the Sportscage Junior Football Report with Dave Thomas.
The Prairie Football Conference Final is set. The defending champion, Regina Thunder, will host the Saskatoon Hilltops on Sunday afternoon at Mosaic Stadium. In last week's semifinal, the Thunder advanced with a 40-10 win over the Edmonton Huskies. Thunder receiver Andrew Sweeney had 2 receptions for 67 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And he joins me now. Andrew, what did those numbers mean to you?
It means a lot, especially coming into playoffs here. Our coach, said someone's got to make a play, and I kind of made that priority this weekend. And I wanted to win. I wanted to play another game, so it was really important.
Well, that's PFC semifinal, 3 receptions, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. What went right for the Regina Thunder aside from the running game? Because they seem to get all the headlines, don't they?
Yeah, of course. Our run game is really, really good. But whenever we pass the ball, I think we just got to make every opportunity we can out of that. So, when I get the ball in my hands, all I want to do is get down to the end zone.
Your reception average, 17.7 yards every time you catch a football. That's a pretty high number in any league. So what has gone right for you to be able to put up those numbers, whether they're after catch yards or whether they're finding you downfield?
Just having good guys around me that are, after I catch the ball, willing to block, kind of help open it up. That's been huge. And then, whenever you catch the ball, just get upfield as soon as you can, and that's how you get those yards.
Now, Andrew, a lot of the offensive linemen are taking credit for a lot of the production that your run game has been able to put up so far this year. Shouldn't the receivers too? Because you guys are a big part of the blocking package, aren't you?
I say, big runs cannot happen without, every single guy on the offense doing their job. And, the O-line start it, but, the receivers are the one who finish it. They get the guys downfield and open it up for the running backs.
So tell me how you need to continue to evolve or continue to improve so that you come away with your second consecutive PFC championship.
It's the small details, in practice, running routes at the right depths, getting to the guy you need to block, just throughout the week, just preparing. And then once it comes game time, just going out there and doing the best you can and working as hard as you can.
This may sound ridiculous, but you are facing the Hilltops for the 3rd time this season. Is it easier or harder to prepare for an opponent that you're this familiar with?
I think it depends what side of the ball you're on, for sure. I think as the offense, we kind of have a good idea about what defenses they run and kind of how to scheme and beat them in that way. And then, the defense, the offense can, make new plays and stuff. So it ultimately comes down to, I think, effort in the game, and that's gonna decide who's gonna win this game.
Now, if my research also is correct, at one point you were a kicker with the University of Regina Rams. Is that true, and how did that come about?
Yeah, that is true. So I've been kicking football since I just started playing football. I played soccer, so it kind of helped, and then kept it up throughout my my post high school time with the Regina Rams. And when our kicker got hurt, I was ready to go, so I was able to step up into that position.
So let's say hypothetically you've got the opportunity to kick a 35-yard game-winning field goal or catch a 35-yard pass for a touchdown and a game winner. Which would you rather do?
As a kicker, I think the feeling of hitting a game-winning field goal is something that you can never kind of forget about, and everybody remembers. So, I think I'm going to have to go with kicking the field goal.
The Hilltops advanced with a 60-26 semifinal win over Winnipeg. Defensive back Nate Gallant made a pair of interceptions in the victory. Nate, what does it mean to you and your Saskatoon teammates to be back in the PFC final?
I mean, it's great. Last year was a little disappointing, so just with all the hard work we've done this year, it's good to get another opportunity. And, yeah, I mean, we're happy to be here. It's going to be awesome.
So you've had a pretty good season, rack up 3 interceptions in total. They all happened to be against the Winnipeg Rifles, and 2 of them came in the semifinal. Tell me about how your year has been individually.
I mean, it's definitely been a lot. Like, coming on the second year, you're usually not expected to touch the field a lot. And luckily this year, we had our starting safety go down and a couple injuries, and it's resulted in me to get some playing time, touch the field, which has been awesome. A lot of it has been on special teams, which I've taken a proud, that's my role this year. So I've been happy taking that. And then I've had 2 games that I've got to start. And yeah, I've just made sure the coaches have put in great schemes, great play calls, and lots of credit to the coaches.
Well, you played at Aiden Bowman before joining the Hilltops. That seems to have set you up pretty well for success because they got a pretty good program there.
Yes, Aiden Bowman, yes. They have a great football program, yeah. We had my graduating class, we won the city final and unfortunately lost on the provincial final. And the coaching staff is just phenomenal at Aiden Bowman. I gave lots of credit to them. I'm still in contact with those coaches. They're great. I enjoyed my years playing football there.
So what was it like making the transformation from playing high school to junior football, where you're working with the likes of Jeff Yowsey and Brent Turkington's kicking around with the program still, some coaches that have been doing this for an awful long time and have seen an awful lot of things?
At first, I was very nervous because it's such a historic program, so many great things. And a young guy coming in, you're definitely scared a little bit and nervous, but the coaches are phenomenal, and I appreciate them very much. And yeah, it's just such a good program. And a lot of the coaching staff, like Sarge, they went to Bowman, so there's some form of connection there that made it a little less scary. But yeah, they've been great, and it's such a good program.
Well, this weekend will be the 3rd time that you've played the Regina Thunder this year. Do you know everything what to expect from the Thunder this weekend? Is it easier preparing for a team a 3rd time in a season?
I mean, the Regina Thunder, they're a great team, and you have to give them respect for all that they've done this year. And I think us versus them, it's the best rivalry in the CJFL, so it's always a great game. It's always physical. It's going to be awesome.
As a defensive back, are you worried about how much work you might get, because the Thunder have run for over 1,000 yards in their last 2 games?
Coaches will put in great schemes and great play calls, and I'm sure the coaches will give us something good to work with.
The game's going to be played at Mosaic Stadium. Does it matter where this game is played between 2 provincial rivals?
I think no matter what, honestly, it's going to be a great game, physical. Last year, definitely losing that PFC final at home was a bit heartbreaking, and I think it's going to be good to get a second chance here. And yeah, I think Mosaic Stadium's a nice arena. It's going to be fun.
Nate, you started the conversation by saying how you were excited to get another shot, essentially, at the Regina Thunder. Has that been a source of motivation all year long to build up to this PFC final?
Almost definitely. I think any 4th years from last year and younger returning, just experiencing that loss, I think it's definitely extra motivation this year.
So what do you need to do to hoist a trophy at the end of the ball game on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, 1 week at a time. Just execution of the little things. Every play, we got to be fast and physical. Discipline, execution. It's the basics.
Kickoff Sunday afternoon is at 1 p.m. at Mosaic Stadium. And that's the Junior Football Report. I'm Dave Thomas. Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Saturday is game day as the Riders take on the BC Lions. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk and Tegan Whitco's at 2. The pregame show's at 4, and kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Rider Broadcast Network is brought to you by the Cooperators, Saskatchewan Party Caucus, and Vaderstad. Stream every moment of Rider football at sportscage.com.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every Rider game, home or away. You can also sign up for the 50/50 Club and never miss a draw, including the weekly loyalty and